Time for my millennial pause. Millennial pause. What? Need some of this. Oh yeah, it's Critical Geeks O'Clock. And you've seen the title. I don't need to tell you what's coming up here. Because Chris D'Elia put out another special, which is fun. Because you may or may not know this, but Chris D'Elia, hold on, wait for the drop. Oh. Chris D'Elia was the first special I ever reviewed. Pretty neat stuff. Pretty cool. We're kind of getting back to our roots here. I don't remember what the fuck his last special was called. It was bad. It was really, really bad. It was the second video this channel ever put out. You can go back and watch it. My voice is terribly mixed and is that all haggard? Because I had quit smoking cigarettes about a year before that. But it's been roughly a year and a half now. God damn. Maybe 2 years. In any case, usually we'll go through and we'll hear them out a little. You know, we'll go through, we'll find a podcast that the comedian has been on, and we'll get to know them a little bit. But you probably, two things. First of all, you probably already know who the fuck Chris D'Elia is and what the fuck he's been getting into for the last 10 years. Real humans, not bots. Prove it! I want robots only, man. I'm a robots man. Oh shit, what's up, Riley? Old friend, how are you? So anyway, if you're here, you probably know who Chris D'Elia is and what he's been getting up to in the last 10 years. You probably know why he's not a good dude, but in case you don't, we're gonna go ahead and pull up a little Google AI, a reliable source per usual. I typed in to my Google search bar, what are the Chris D'Elia accusations? To wit, AI Overview tells me, comedian and actor Chris D'Elia has faced multiple waves of accusations regarding sexual misconduct, predatory behavior, and solicitation, third time, solicitation, let's take that one, of sexually explicit materials with several allegations involving, wait for it, teenagers. We don't like Chris D'Elia here. Not only for all of this, but more egregiously, because he's bad. He's not, I'm not a fan of his comedy. He kind of does like a, sort of like a fuckboy Dane Cook kind of deal. And it's been a while, you probably are aware, since I have covered a comedian that allows me to, in good faith, get out my vitriol, my utter and absolute hatred. And I think it's important from time to time to do that. So we are going to jump directly into this thing. Keep in mind, halfway through the show today, we will be doing a reading from Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography. It never disappoints, although sometimes it does kind of bum us out. Corey Feldman had a little bit of a sad childhood, and I had not anticipated that when I was choosing the book. Anyway, let's jump in. We're going to get straight into this thing. This is Chris D'Elia's newest special. It came out 4 days ago as of recording. It is currently Thursday, April 2nd of 2026. 2D26. This is Chris D'Elia's B-side. Let's jump into this thing.
But at Walgreens, you know what it is.
You know what it is. Already a bad start.
But at Walgreens, you know what it is.
As you know, exposition is, as you know, quite a potent way of telling the audience what we know.
And I was getting amenities. I was jet lagged. I was tired.
He's getting amenities at Walgreens. Great start.
And I walked out of the Walgreens and I put the
I like that he's already giggling at himself. Bro, Chris, you need a nap, dog. Give it some time. I gotta take a screenshot of this. I probably won't do anything with it, but I just like having these very unflattering pictures of these less than scrupulous people.
Walgreens bag. On this trash can, I was opening up the mints that I got. I got mints and water. And as I'm opening
Great story so far, Chris.
up the mints, this dude walks up to me. I see him in the corner of my peripheral, and this is how he walks up. He goes like this.
It's kind of doing like a, you know, Cholet walk. Is it pronounced Cholo? Odale? It's too early for that.
So you know it's a black guy, right? And right, because black dudes rub their tummies for no reason at all.
We all rub our tummies for no reason, Chris. Don't be weird.
Right? Like white dudes might rub their tummy if they're hungry, but black dudes will do it just
Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm already having a good time. Fuck this dude. But we will. Okay, to be fair, I will still be doing this in good faith. I just don't like the guy. So I will be, if nothing else, it's a bit of a juggling act. Me, my opinions with Chris D'Elia, my good faith critiques, my journalistic integrity.
just in case, right? Like, you know, I ain't
Go back.
at all. Right? Like white dudes might rub their tummy if they're hungry, but black dudes
I'll say this, to his credit, tummy's a funny word. It's got nothing to do with him, but he used it.
will do it just in case, right? Like, you know, I ain't hungry right now, but let me just start. Let me start rubbing just
Okay. Kind of half-assing black scent there. Either do it or don't, you know?
in case I'll get the jump on this motherfucker. You
He's got a little, what do you call him? Watermark. That's just his face. And if you are the kind of person who uses just your face as like your profile picture on Facebook, that's one thing. But on YouTube, it's just your face. Like if you're sitting there going like that, fuck you, man.
know what I mean? So
It's taking a lot of time to think that one through. I mean, it's a at best spattering of laughter.
just in case I'll get the jump on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So
Just in case, I'll get the jump on this motherfucker. Oh, wow. Woo! It's Chris D'Elia o'clock,
So I see him out of the
motherfuckers.
corner of my eye, you know, and he's rubbing his tummy, and then he says this. This is what he says. He says, "I know you got something in that bag for me." So now I'm like, oh,
Here's what we have as a problem so far. And it's funny, I haven't talked about this in a while, but it is remarkably common in these comedians and the way they tell stories. They tend to present a character who is absolutely ridiculous. The problem is, what's interesting about that character, all those traits, all those things that are funny about them, we have to take people like Chris at their word that that person existed and that this situation unfolded as such. Or it has to be so over the top that it's funny. But you can't like make up a story like this. Like, oh, okay, he said that to you. This guy walked up to you all ridiculous and was like, I know you got something in that bag for me. By the way, better than yours.
I'm getting robbed, okay?
I'm getting robbed, of course.
So now I'm like,
He's also like 3 years too late for this to be like edgy. This isn't some stuff you should be talking about, man.
oh, I'm getting robbed, okay? And I don't want to get robbed. And not because I don't want to give my stuff up. He can have my stuff. I just don't want to exert energy. And you have to if you get robbed, no matter what, pretty much.
Okay, to be fair, he does call this B-side, and these ain't hits, my guy.
You know? Like you gotta at least get scared, you start sweating.
Get some
but there's
Neo
really
in
two
ya.
options you have if you get robbed. The first one is exhausting. It's fight, okay? And that's so exhausting. Because
Chris knows. Chris is a real fighter. Son of a Hollywood exec, grew up on the mean streets.
if you choose fight, you have to fight
Tell by those chains.
your hardest, you know? Like you can't do it less than your hardest.
It feels like he hasn't slept in a few days and is just like talking to himself behind the wheel. If you get robbed, you gotta exert energy, man. And the three options of energy exertion during a robbery. You can fight. And fighting's hard, man. Clearly he has some kind of fan base. By the way, if you're a Chris D'Elia fan, let me know why. Please, tell us all. Be brave and get down in those comments. Let us all know why it is that you like Chris D'Elia and are willing to go to bat for him. There are many people who are polarizing figures that I go to bat for, or at least go to bat for the work of. So, meet me halfway here. Why do you like Chris D'Elia?
Because you...
And if it is exclusively for contrarianism, I respect that.
You might die, And even if you don't know how to fight, I haven't really been in that many fights, you still have to do what you think is fighting at your maximum level, I would just be like, all right, see the first two John Wicks, here we go, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And if you don't choose fight, you got to choose run, okay? And if you choose run, you have to run your fastest. You have to go so fast.
This is some traffic light out inside thoughts, my man.
Because if you don't, then he could catch you.
Shout out Bard Fox for the music and also for that joke I just said.
And then, by the way, you still have to fight, so you have to do both. And you can still die. So I'm like, I don't want to do either of these, man. I was so tired, I was like, what if I just...
And maybe it's because of his cancellation, but you hear people talk about all these worst comedy specials. And I'll get to that later, because I have plans for those specials. But, excuse me, I will get to that in a little bit. First and foremost, I have to wonder why people don't consider Chris D'Elia to be one of these terrible comedians. They consider him to be a terrible person, unquestionably. But his last special was pretty genuinely garbage, and when compared to, say, Brian Callen's, let's talk first act exclusively. It's a far, far stronger act. This is already starting off kind of petering. But you never hear about Chris D'Elia being one of the worst. And is that just because people don't consider him a stand-up comic anymore, or what's with that?
I'm like, I don't want to do either of these, man. I was so tired, I was like, what if I just ignored him? What if I straight up ignored this dude robbing me? Because here's why. Because I'm a guy, and this man is a problem right now, and guys ignore their problems all the time. We do that. You know what I'm talking about? Guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes a guy will have a problem with... Like, oh, no, I got this problem. But then you'll be like, no, I don't. And it kind of goes...
Jesus Christ, what did you give these people?
Goes away, honestly, until way later it becomes cancer because of all the stress, but...
That's so familiar. That whole, you bottle it up until one day it manifests as, I think literally cancer. That's what they... Whatever. Chris doesn't come off as worldly, so I think he's probably just having an unoriginal thought. I don't think he stole it from someone who's funnier than him.
Right now I'm trying to save my life. So, because what if you robbed someone? Think about it, and they just ignored you. What?
Again, it's hard to even get into why that is unconscionably stupid. Does that fit there? The irony is palpable.
Actually imagine yourself in that situation where what would you do? You know what you do. You'd be, hey, give me your stuff. And then if they were just like...
He kind of does one of these. He does and they were just like... So there's probably going to be a lot of act-outs from Chris today, which means inherently there'll be a lot of act-outs from me. But don't worry, I have my SM58, every comedian's favorite little tool. Except for Ronan Hirschberg, who rules and knows not only mic technique, but also he understands the mechanics of a microphone far better than people who are just I don't know, I want the one with the round top. Like me.
You'd be like this.
He goes, you'd be like this. He's holding the knife out, looks confused. I don't even know. Then he walks away.
So I'm like, I'm gonna ignore him. But then the dude doubles down and I hear him say this. He says, I said.
People never say that when they repeat themselves.
I know you got something nice in that bag for me. And now I'm like, this dude doesn't even know what Walgreens has, right? Like, it's not nice. At best, it's hairspray. So I'm like, okay. Now I gotta say something to him, because he's, you know, I can't ignore him, I realize. And
I'm getting mints for, Chris.
As I turn to talk to him, as I'm turning, this bigger black lady comes out from around the corner holding a Subway sandwich bag, and she says to him, fuck y'all, this is my lunch and dinner.
Again, what we have here is a Monopoly guy, which is a phrase coined by Dan Harmon in reference to Ace Ventura 2, Ace Ventura Pet Detective 2, When Nature Calls. Quite a title. As a refresher, they're at some gala or some bar or whatever, and this fancy-looking man who vaguely looks like the Monopoly guy, Ace Ventura, you know, knocks him out or whatever, and or, you know, he says to him, you must be the Monopoly guy. Do not press go. Do not collect $200. Like, he does this whole long bit. The problem with that being that they presented this ridiculous character. They're the ones who told us this guy's ridiculous, and then they spend all that time making fun of the ridiculous thing that they themselves contrived. It's an incredibly cheap way to write a joke. It's an incredibly cheap way to tell a story. And Chris, these are your story now is two Monopoly guys. It's the first guy who's ridiculous and completely non-human in the way that he acts. And then the second woman, who's also, I guess, full of non sequiturs. Sure, Chris. Let's take him at face value here. Let's pretend these people exist. Let's hear his story out.
Subway sandwich bag, and she says to him, fuck y'all, this is my lunch and dinner. And I realized that they knew each other, and he was talking to her the whole time.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
And I'm just racist. I'm like a racist guy, I guess. I thought I was gonna get robbed just because a black dude walked up to me. So shitty.
Okay.
I don't want to be racist. I don't want to be racist.
I'll say again, I'm not raffling. But I will say, as far as the subversion of expectation is concerned, I didn't see that coming. So, joke?
Racist, you know? Like, I want to be not racist. I don't, like, if I was born and God was like, should we give him some racism? I would be like, no, you better not, you know?
I just needed a second.
But you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you are, and you don't even mean to be, you know? Like, you're driving and someone cuts you off, and you're like, all right, let me look at him. Let me see what it looks like. Let me see what it looks like. Let me just see what it looks like, me. And it's just you in the car. But you're like, let's just see, me. And you look and you're like, oh, okay, all right, okay. So we know why it happened. We know why it happened then.
Okay, it might be more than a little racist there.
We know why it happened. And I'm not going to say it because I'm not racist. But we know, don't we? Yeah, we know. And you don't say.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, he's Asian. And it's like.
Let's hear it from Redact on this. You know, there is no place for comedy like this in comedy. At no point should you be making a joke based on a person's... I don't know what he says. Those words should never be uttered in comedy. To be fair, he kind of walked that back the following video. See, we're good faith here. I just don't like Chris.
Dude, one time, man, this is kind of racist. One time, Whatever. One time a guy. I just feel like some stereotypes are. It's so.
I have no idea what this is. I got a comment somewhere from something. I tend to get under people's skin a little bit, believe it or not. And my favorite thing to do is like people, you know, I'll especially my videos, my scripted videos. I was still finding my voice. I still am, but I was very much in the early stages of finding my kind of my voice, so to speak. I have a lot of opinions. I stand by most of them, and those opinions tend to be a little bit controversial. But you know, again, I try to do this all in good faith. If someone makes a good point, I'll tell you it's a good point. Like, but anyway, someone's talking shit.
Shitty because like Asians can't.
Probably on my channel too, because I've been kind of mum's the word. Once you have a #1 comment on a Kill Tony video, it's hard to catch that high again.
Even come
I've been chasing that dragon since.
close to getting into an accident. You know what I mean? Because then they go like, "Oh fuck! Oh, here we go." You know what I mean? But one time I was driving and a guy almost hit me and he wasn't Asian and I looked at him and he was driving, he was fucking driving like this, like all like this. And I was like
this, all like this, like he's looking around, yeah.
Come on, bro. Like at least.
See what I mean? You know, and I don't even mean to insult Dane Cook. Now that I'm going back, excuse me, now that I'm looking back on what I said, that was a little bit of a slight to compare Chris D'Elia to Dane Cook. Because Dane Cook holds a lot of momentum, and he kills. And maybe his comedy is not for you. You know, I at one point loved whatever his like first big special was. A buddy of mine had it on CD, and we listened to that all the time. Every time Roses and I hung out, we would listen to that on repeat. That was the one with like the B&E and all that, you know. So Dane Cook's very, very high energy, and he holds that momentum throughout his entire. I mean, every set of his I've seen. He did a show recently at his house, which we'll probably end up reviewing just because of the like yester respect that I have for him. But I take back what I said about Chris D'Elia being like a Dane Cook fuckboy. He's not like Dane Cook at all. He tries to be. I think he's trying to like bite a little bit on Dane's style, the like way over the top. But like Dane Cook, much like Jim Carrey, very clearly like practices his ridiculousness. Versus Chris D'Elia, who just like his black scent kind of phones it all in.
Please work with me, you know?
Also, bro, you have fucking, take it from me, someone who knows, you got villain face, my guy.
But no, stop, you know, don't be racist. And I don't.
You thought that was gonna get a bigger pop, huh?
I feel like, you know, well, here's the thing, okay? Like, I'm a white guy, and I think sometimes we don't know we're being racist, you know what I mean?
This, again, he's 4 or 5 years too late for this to be, like, brave or cool or, I mean, frankly, even fun. Because this isn't, in my opinion, I don't think this is funny. But there was a point in the last 5 years where it would have at least been brave. It would have been, in some ways, you know, juxtaposed to what everyone else was doing at the time. Because, like, white dudes couldn't talk about race for a long time. And then, like, people started really breaking the rules, and there were cancellations that failed and didn't take. And people were like, oh, shit, you could come back from being canceled. And then they continued to, like, build their careers, the Shane Gillises of the world, you know? Like, and Chris, I think, sees that. But there are... infinite problems with that logic. Number one being, Chris, you weren't canceled for saying controversial things, even though you want us to believe that. You were canceled because of, let's see what Google AI says again. Multiple waves of accusations regarding sexual misconduct, predatory behavior, and the solicitation of sexually explicit materials, with several allegations involving teenagers. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that so you all know that's not me trying to spread whatever. That is off of Google AI. Just for the litigious out there.
I mean, like, sometimes you'll say stuff and you don't realize it's not okay, right? And
I was watching Coffee and Cults last night about Rebel Wilson, so I want to make sure I'm being cool, legally speaking.
like, I'll, like, you know, like, I like, that's why, you know, like, a lot of white guys get in trouble now. Like, you know, you see a lot of white dudes in the media and they're like,
5 years too late, Chris.
like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. That's my bad. When I know better, I do better, right? Like, that's what they say. I didn't know, and now I know.
Who are these people in this crowd, dude?
And stuff used to be okay, and now it's not, or it was never okay, and we didn't know. And, like, it took the, you know, society to kind of learn it, right? And
explain those things to us, Chris.
And it's crazy because, like, you can't say certain things that you thought you could say. Like, pretty soon, the language is getting shorter and shorter, and it's not going to be
pretty soon the language is getting shorter and shorter.
much left. Like, there's going to be two white dudes, they're going to meet each other, they're going to be like, hey, the other one's going to be like, hey, you know, and
Good faith. Good faith. Good faith. Okay, so let's try to understand what he's talking about here. In the name of good faith. He's saying that these days, they're getting rid of so many words that white guys can say that eventually it's going to come down to you not being able to say anything but hey and feeling uncomfortable. Like, what words exactly? Because we've got R, F, and N. Or, well, let's say N, R, and F, because then we can call it the Nerf words. Excuse me, whichever. Term coined. You know what? That deserves a major. Term coined. Now back to minor. But none of that has happened recently at all. We're talking almost 10 years ago that people were like, hey, should I not be saying Rodorda? Like, I don't know. I don't understand this premise. Just like I didn't understand the first one. There's probably going to be some kind of rug pull subversion of expectations. Or, I don't know. I just wish he would lean into being this villain more. Do a heel turn, Chris. Stop trying to be the cool kid sitting at the back of the bus, like, doling out lessons for all the young gals. Like, what are you fucking... Just be like, I'm evil. Hide your kids, hide your wife. You guys remember that? Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife. 'Cause they're raping up everybody else. Hide your kids, hide your wife. You know, you remember.
yeah, I saw two,
You want to talk about an old reference?
I was in, I said tranny recently, and I know.
Okay, but that was always pretty crazy. Like, there was never a time where people had a misconception about that being, like, tranny was always, like, the shorthand kind of derogatory version, even in the 90s. Like, oh, I got a bubble bath from a tranny. Like, it was before, yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
It's very liberal here, but I don't know.
Go back.
I know it's very liberal here, but I don't know.
Stop, dude. Stop trying to fucking... We all see what you're doing. We can all see the, like, oh, I know I might get canceled for saying this, but, again, 5 years ago, this might have held some water, but this shit is full of holes, my man.
Here's the deal. I didn't know I couldn't say tranny. I didn't know that until I knew that. I didn't...
Are you literally doing the thing you just made fun of white guys for doing? I do better when I know better. And I was going, I didn't know you couldn't say tranny. How did you not know that, bro? Okay, so we have the nerfed words, which is N, R, F, and T. Nerfed.
No.
It's nerfed or nothing.
Until
it's nerfed, then nothing.
I knew, okay? But I said tranny, and...
Ooh, we got a shot of the audience back here. Do a little zoom in. There are a shocking amount of women in this audience. Got a guy, is that a pink hair? I don't see pink hair around very often on a young man. Good look. It's a good look. He's playing like the State Theater. Okay, all right. I didn't really learn a lot from this. You can hear a lot of like chick laughs out there, and you gotta wonder, like, are you okay?
And well, we know a little bit about that guy now.
Okay, he's on his spry. He's on his toes, you know. We know a little bit about that guy now.
I did. I said it, and I didn't mean to. But you used to be able to say tranny all the time. You could just fire it out. Like in the 80s and 90s, you could just say tranny.
How old is Chris D'Elia? Chris D'Elia is 46 years old. Oh, shit, okay. He was born in 1980, which means he was 10 in 1990. You were running around saying tranny at age 8? You do seem like a spoiled fuck who wasn't really told no a lot, so well, I could see that.
And people would be like,
Mom, you're a tranny.
Even trans women would be like, oh, like they thought it was hilarious.
Because, you see, their voices, well, they're deeper.
But now they're like, hey, don't say that. And then they play basketball. It's fucking crazy. And so, but I said tranny
5 years old. This is 5-year-old material.
Recently, and I think my friend kind of set me up. I think she was trying to make me say it because we were on the patio and she was pointing at two people on the other side of the patio. And one was a woman and the other one was a woman. And you know what I mean, right? Like one was a woman, and the other one was, a woman. And so they were both, the point is they were both equal, and they had so much equality together. The two of them had the most equality, and nobody had more equality.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Burn the Boats, which came out like last year, was already full of this really dated shit. Kind of made me at least go like, wow, we've come a long way. You know, like, just that these kinds of jokes have become so hackneyed and shitty. Like, I don't know. It just seems, again, this all seems so dated. And let's say best case scenario, this is B-side, right? So maybe he's using some of his older material. He's a coward for not saying it when it was a hot button issue. That's just really how it breaks down.
One and the other, and it was all perfect.
You waited until it was safe, and then it's kind of James Donald Forbes mechanic here a little bit. It's a different mechanic, similar cowardice.
Everyone was living in harmony on that patio. It was fucking insane. And so, but the problem was they were dressed the same, okay? Like, alike. And my friends was talking about one of them. And I said, oh, which one are you talking about? And my friend just said, the one with the sweater and the jeans. They both had sweater and jeans on. So I was just like, all right, listen to this in the bud. I was like, the tranny? And then she says, oh my God, you can't say that. And then I was like, oh, okay, I take it back. I don't know. She's just like, it's too late, you said it, you're fucked. And so,
he's gonna make me keep calling him out for it, but this is crazy. Some dusty shit.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm a white dude, and white guys, you know, you could, white dude.
Great transition, bro.
Are just, we had a good run. You know what I mean? Like a fucking killer run. Thousands of years. Thousands of years. And now it's still
Now we can't say 4 words.
look good, but like you know what I mean? We're waiting for the time to end. We're like, just don't say, don't say too much. Just chill. Everyone's equal. White, black, Asians, Indians, Mexicans. I don't know the rest. And so.
Okay. It's okay. What I think we're seeing right here is him trying to do the right-wing grift, but it's so late that it's just kind of like, don't get me wrong. There are people on the internet who are dumb enough to be like, Chris D'Elia's brave. He's out there saying the things you're not supposed to say. But it's like, this shit's on YouTube, bro. Like it was brave to put this in your whether these are their beliefs or not. It's part of their comedic act, right? It would have been brave for you to put this kind of comedy out back when Mike David was telling you to put your fucking shirt on. Like, it would have been, that was the time for all these big, like, oh, I'm a white guy, I can't get away with anything anymore revelations. Like, you are so behind the ball here. But I don't think he cares. Baby, he's got 334K subscribers. I think that's up from the last time. His pinned comment has 91. Like, wow. This comment section's pretty fucking dismal. His pinned comment that says, "Come see me out there. Come see me out there." I'll do a Chris. Well, we'll figure out our Chris D'Elia voice. ChrisD'Elia.com/tour has 91 likes. You know, far be it from little old Eeksy out here to be talking shit about people's names. You know, I'm just a humble jippo. But realistically, that is small. Way to handle, phone guy. See you in Little Rock. I was expecting these. So there's 17 comments under his pinned comment. All of these are very supportive. Oh, God. Andrew Zelter says, years of Chris D'Elia's comedy and podcast has been pretty revealing about the shit he's gone through and also the way his actions affected people. People can cast the slings and arrows. You don't cast a sling, you fucking idiot. Slings cast things. Anyway. People can cast the slings and arrows all they want. A man who takes accountability for his bad behavior and mistakes and who is willing to be this vulnerable and open to the public is an admirable one. Laughed a ton through this special, but it also validated what I already believed. Chris isn't a bad dude. He's a dude who fucked up and put work in to be a better man. Oh, it goes on. We, ... should all aspire to do that in our own lives. Fuck you, Andrew Zelter. You're a bad guy with bad taste. Oh, Jesus Christ. And we've got a spammer in the chat. Hello. Riley, get him. Riley's got other shit to do. Other lol cows to examine.
Gee, I'm a white dude, and I'm also a dad. Like, white dudes.
Clearing your throat in the middle of your show is highly unprofessional.
They're portrayed as always now, like, you can't have a villain in the movie that isn't white, you know? Like,
okay, so glad he brought this up. This is a hilarious misconception to me. And I challenge all of you listening to this to do this without Googling it. They say that there was this trend in Hollywood and in popular media where black people were always the bad guy, right? You've heard this. This is why a black person can't be evil in a movie. I challenge you to name 5 popular movies. Name 5 movies that had a black villain. Seems like it should be easier than it is, doesn't it? I have no idea where this came from. Like, what in... even in 80s movies, like, it's not really. Not really. Like, I don't know. I would love to be wrong. And if you tell me in the comments, bro, these movies, blah, 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 then I will admit that you're right. But as of yet, I'm not wrong. I can't think of one. Like, where the villain, the antagonist of the story. Sure, like, there would be, like, thugs or whatever. Like, oh, the main character gets robbed, and occasionally that was a black person doing it. But as far as, like, the antagonist, the big bad, the bad guy of the story, bro, I got nothing.
Has to be white. Or if a guy's real dumb, has to be white, you know? You can't have a dumb person that's not white. Like, even in commercials, everybody... Like, a white dad in a commercial is the...
There are tropes, you know, that involve, you know, I mean, like, the black dude always dies first is a very, very prominent trope. It's true. But the antagonist, the bad guy of the story, name 5. Because if it's so prevalent that we need to consciously, as a culture and as a society, adjust away from that for a while to course correct, then it should be very easy to name 5.
Dumbest motherfucker, right? Like, you just turn on a commercial and the dad will be in the kitchen and it'll be like, uh-oh.
This has been a problem for way longer than recently. My mom was talking about this shit in the aughts, bro.
Whoopsie,
about how, like, men are always portrayed as stupid in the media.
Just shit all over the bread, and then the mom's like, again, you're not supposed to do that, and the dad's like, I don't know, whoops.
Which means this is even farther, this is even more outdated than his usual purview of being about 10 years.
And the slips and the shit hits his head, and the daughter comes in and is like, look at dad, he's a moron. Starts stabbing him, fuck him. Dad's a retard, dad's a fucking retard.
Oh, you said the word. I bet he remarks on it.
Dad's all retarded. And then it's like... the dog comes up and pisses on him.
I just gotta know who's in this crowd. It's people like fucking Zelter or whatever. Fuck that guy.
And then it's just like, Tide, you know? Like... Your dad's all retarded. Like, your dad...
I want to check these comments, because if there's... Dude, bring back TMP. Hopefully you'll have a show in Boston that works. Am I still reading the pinned comments? Yes, I am. I actually love that it jumped right into it and didn't have some sort of intro. We know it didn't make a dent to release it for free, but thank you, Chris. This being B-side just shows how genius Chris is. Lifeline and a whole hour on a Sunday. Life rips. Happy birthday, Chris. Thanks for the gift. So much better than anything released on Netflix this year. Okay, let's go even farther down. There has to be some negative comments, right? Excuse me, Jim. Jesus. Man, what a surprise and a delight to kick back and find a fresh Chris D'Elia to watch. You are one of the greats. Spelled wrong! Great, like great. He spelled it like a sewer grate. So enjoyable to watch. Happy B-side day, my friend. You people are the worst. A full hour? Thank you, Chris. What the fuck? There's not even one? Can't fake funny. Great show. Needed this, Chris. Thank you. That was the best special he's ever done, I think, without a punctuation mark in sight. Yes, you should be judged for that. If you don't properly punctuate, you are contributing to the downfall of human intellectualisticism. Chris is fucking back, dude. Fuck yeah. Hype! I watched this 3 times in 24 hours. Who are you people? Needed this. OMG, he's so funny. Laughing, crying face, laughing, sweating face. Cheers, Chris. Simply fucking brilliant. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Am I the bad guy? Hell yeah. Love it, brother. Can't get enough. Flexy, 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 flexy. Super, they took me out. Your comedy never disappoints. Wow, what a treat. I don't know, man. What is the Farnsworth quote? I don't want to live on this world anymore.
Your dad has Down syndrome, or whatever the fuck. And you watch it and you're like,
We need Red Bar, man.
what the
I hope Mike's doing okay.
fuck? All right, you know, this is payback for... This makes him feel better. This makes Tide feel better, I guess. I don't know.
And we've got an ad. All right. How about that? Okay, if I'm being good faith, some people do these ads in the first 3 minutes of their special. Some people will also, they'll put the commercial right in the middle of a joke. He didn't do those things, so props.
But you can't say that word. You can't say, I mean, you can, but like, I can. Don't.
I have to piddle. I will BRB. Hope you hang out. If you don't, double on back. We're going to be doing this for a while. Hello, we're coming on back. We're making our way back. Let's get back into Chris D'Elia's B-side special. It just dropped, but don't worry, halfway through this silly special, we will be doing a reading from Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography.
I mean, you can, but like...
Let's go back. We're going to go back.
But you can't say that word. You can't say, I mean, you can, but like, I can. Don't say it at your job.
Okay.
Right? Like, don't. If you're at like Tim Hortons and you're just like, oh, you want Timbits, you fucking retard? Like, you'll get fired, you know? And maybe you should.
Was he in Canada? Why did that Tim Hortons joke just kill so hard?
Good, honestly. Just give him the Timbits, right?
He does this thing with his eyebrow and his face. He kind of just like I can't even begin to do it.
But like, you know,
it's like a cartoon dog.
You know,
he has resting cartoon dog face.
I can say it because I'm a comedian and it's fine, and like, you know, because I mean, people still get mad. I don't like white. A lot of comedians right now, corny comedians, will be like, you can't say anything anymore. It's like, you can.
You did that. You just did. All right, I gotta calm down. But for real, you just did that, bruv. That was your whole thing, remember? That was the whole... We did nerfed. You can't say N or R or F or T And you're like, oh, white guys can't get away with that. You did that, my man.
White, a lot of comedians right now, corny comedians will be like, you can't say anything anymore. It's like, you can say anything. And it doesn't even really matter, you know? Like, you can,
Not to you.
say something, because, yeah, you're here.
Woo! You can say whatever you want. You said the R word 3 times. That is James Donald Forbes McCann. I can't say this word. I know I can get away with saying, so I'm going to say I can't say it, and then I'm going to say the word, and you're all going to be like, yay, you're edgy. But I don't think so. I have to go now.
Well, you say the thing, and you say it, and then people go, hey, fucking no! And then you just go, yeah, you know, when I know better, I do better. You know what I mean? But you don't really care. That's the thing. You don't really care. And you know I'm a comedian. You know I'm just trying to make you laugh.
Stick around to the end. We will have a musical performance. Doing a cover I think you're probably going to recognize.
That's the thing. You don't really care. And you know I'm a comedian. You know I'm just trying to make you laugh, okay? That's all my intent is. I have no ill will.
Methinks you're trying a couple other things there, Christopher.
Right? But there are people that want to just, get mad. Because here's why. Because here's why they get mad. Because they don't really care.
Oh, sweet, a comedian talking about cancel culture.
They just need there to be a
I
bad
love that he prefaced this with, like, some hacky comedians.
guy so they can feel like a good guy. That's why. It's all it is.
Thank you for redefining virtue signaling for all of us who have been in a coma for 20 years.
If they don't feel, because a lot of these people's lives are meaningless and they don't have shit to do. So if you're a bad guy, they're like, fuck yeah, I'm a hero, and you're not. You're just a fucking person, And it's okay too, right? Like here's how you know that people really don't care. The corporations are hilarious. Like I was joking about Tide, but like, this is how you really know. We'll see how this bit goes over in this town. But like always in
What town? Let's look at the description. Okay, quite a bit here. This is the hour of stand-up I toured with after I shot Grow or Die. Grow or Die was his last special. I didn't remember that. I never technically shot it as a, quote, special, but that not happening was intentional. I never technically shot it as a, quote, special, but that not happening wasn't intentional. That not happening wasn't intentional. So you meant to do it. All right, a lot of negatives there, Chris. Relationships of mine changed, and some of the things in the set evolved in my life. I mean, you can tell a lot about a guy from the way he describes his videos. I personally just leave the Twitch being like, this was streamed on Twitch, have a link. This is fucking crazy. Relationships of mine changed, and some of the things in the set evolved in my life, so I just kind of stopped doing it because other topics became more important to me personally, culturally, and as a stand-up. That is one sentence, ladies and gentlemen. Because of that, I just kept writing so much, and eventually had a whole new hour on tour to do. These stories just kind of fell by the wayside. So what you're watching here is raw and not cut how I would normally have cut it. Even though it's not technically a special, I had tons of footage of it, and it's still special to me. I did that about your stupid set. Remember though, with my thumbnail? It was a very special back when I was doing thumbnails. Trying and stuff. Millennial shrug. Trying's not cool. So I'm dropping this here on my birthday as a, quote, thank you to everyone. He didn't need those quotation marks. As a, quote, thank you to everyone who ever supported me by coming to a show, and even those who haven't. New line. So here it is, new line, the B special. God, I bet you felt cool finishing that off.
June, like the gay month, when it happens, like the first day, every corporation, when the gay month happens in June, they're just like, oh, hurry up and change the Twitter logo, make it.
We're going back. I think he's talking about, what does they call it, like rainbow branding or something? Which, by the way, nobody likes. Like, the gays weren't stoked on it either, my man.
The first day, every corporation, when the gay month happens in June, they're just like, oh, hurry up and change the Twitter logo, make it
He's still talking about virtue signaling.
rainbow, otherwise we're gonna lose money. Make it rainbow, we care. Start fucking each other and make it. And there's usually like one company that doesn't do it, just one a year, you know? That's just like, you know, like Major League Baseball didn't do it last year. And they were just like, maybe we forgot, you know? And then...
Okay.
And then June 2nd rolls around and people are like, are you fucking serious, Major League Baseball?
You can hear his chain, so what he does there is kind of like jump and like do this. And when he does that, listen, because you can hear, when he says, are you fucking serious? Listen closely, you can hear his chains knocking against each other.
Last year. And they were just like, maybe we forgot, you know? And then June 2nd rolls around and people are like, are you fucking serious, Major League Baseball? The Mariners better start fucking.
I don't know how actual gold sounds. I don't know if it's that.
In the Blue Jays immediately.
It sounded like quarters smacking together.
You guys are pitchers and catchers for a reason.
Pitchers and catchers, you see, is a colloquial term for people who give and take sex.
But you know they don't care because they just want to make money. You know they don't care. The head of the corporations are people, and they don't fucking give a shit, you know?
Damn, Chris, you really making me see the world for what it is now, man.
They're just people that are trying to, like, not get fired. Like, if you really cared, you'd care past June.
I know I sound like a broken record, but you have to feel me here. This is so dated.
But the second June changes and it's July, they're like, all right, change the fucking logo back.
Also, this joke format has been told and retold and used and reused for February, Black History Month. Where it's like, well, if you really care, shouldn't you care more than just in February?
Fuck 'em, you know?
Take a deep breath. Chris, get me worked up, bro.
Every month is every company, every June, every company. It's just like, here at Kleenex, here at Kleenex, we're so gay. We're gay. Here's a Kleenex, we're gay. We can't stop. If we're a guy, this corporation's full of guys that can't stop fucking other guys, and it's all cool. But we're so gay. Use a Kleenex. Use a Kleenex if you're gay. Maybe you're gay too. Maybe you sneeze, you go, you know, you do a little gay sneeze. That's all good. That's a great sneeze, you know? Maybe you have a cold. It's not HIV. Anyone can.
Chris, you look like you have a fucking cold, my man.
Get HIV. But you...
Seriously, I would, if this guy sat down next to me on like a bus, I would be like, oh, I'm suddenly pro masks.
You sneeze and you fuck each other and then sneeze. Say you're fucking a guy, you know? And then you pull over and you jizz all over his pussy. What do you... You wipe it. You use a Kleenex. You fucking... What do you wipe his pussy with? You got... Say it. Say it.
All right, you know, as hard as this is to struggle through, we need to focus on moments like this because this is really his entire act as it just sort of culminates into a bunch of nonsense like this. A bunch of anti-virtue signaling, dated nonsense like this.
You fuck each other and then sneeze. Say you're fucking a guy, you know? And then you pull over and you jizz all over his pussy. What do you... You wipe it. You use a Kleenex.
You get it? Because guys aren't supposed to have those.
And then you pull over and you jizz all over his pussy. What do you... You wipe it. You use a Kleenex. You fucking... What do you wipe his pussy with? You got... Say it. Say you pull out and you jizz all over his pussy. For the month of June, use a rainbow Kleenex. And you just wipe it all up. And then you fuck more guys, you know?
Boo! not boo for the reasons you're hoping, my man. It's not boo because I'm offended. And, oh, you got this. You got him. It's like, just boo because bad. Him breaking into laughter halfway through that is iconic, D'Elia.
You know,
I want to hear that laugh one more time.
Kleenex, you fucking. What do you wipe his pussy with? You got say it. Say it, pull out, and you jizz all over.
You know how people laugh.
Pussy. For the month of June, use a rainbow Kleenex, and you just wipe it all up, and then you fuck more guys. You know.
I think that's kind of this is something other comedians do that is equally as egregious. That like fake laugh. They've done these acts 1,000 times. According to Chris, he's done it even more. You know, it's like, so what? You're surprised by what you just said, and you have said 1,000 times before. Like it's not. It's so disingenuous. It's who's the guy that was on SNL as a talk show host now? Fallon. It's Fallon-esque, where he got a laugh once because he laughed at himself and was like, "People like that." I can't get through a single sketch without cracking myself up. You know what? Again, that's an insult to Fallon. Yeah, to call him Fallon-esque is insulting a person who I don't even really like that much.
It's crazy.
That was a genuine laugh at myself.
And the far left is like, yeah, okay, good. I'm glad they did that. Otherwise, I was going to go crazy. But then the far right, the other side of the political spectrum,
oh boy,
is like, well, I guess I ain't using Kleenex anymore.
We all remember, bro.
What am I supposed to wipe my dick with when I have hetero sex with my wife? I'm making a stand. I'm wiping it with sandpaper from now on. I'm using sandpaper. Instead of toilet paper, I'm wiping my ass with sandpaper. My ass will bleed because of these gays. Or wait.
Kind of a stretch there. You get it? Because, like, bleeding butts because of gay stuff. But also, who the fuck uses Kleenex to wipe the... Never mind.
Kid Rock's out there just fucking with an AK-47, shooting bounty paper towels. Fuck all paper products, man! Everyone's crazy.
Baby cowboy.
Because if you don't say something, there's that minority of people, there's like the 9 people on Twitter, that'll be like, you gotta say something or otherwise you're part of the problem. That's my favorite. If you don't say something, if you don't outwardly agree, you're part of the problem. Like, no, dude, no. You can be part of the problem or part of the solution, and there's so much in between, you know? There's so much in between. Take a guy riding a bicycle. Just riding a bicycle that didn't say anything. He's not part of the problem. Unless the problem is riding fucking bicycles. You know what I'm talking about?
Was it science is compliance or something? Silence is compliant? I don't know.
But why can't a guy just ride a fucking bicycle? Say something. Otherwise, no matter what thing happens, there always like, people, you need to take a stand against the thing, and then you gotta pick the right side, you know? Because people, if you don't pick the right side, they're like, you gotta be on the wrong side of history, you know? You're the wrong side of history. And they're like, oh, I don't want to be on the wrong side of history. But the truth is, how the fuck do you know what the wrong side of history is? History didn't happen yet. It's only now.
Whoa, bro.
And even if you are...
Seriously, he has a cold. Listen to this guy.
History didn't happen yet. It's only now. And even if you are on the wrong side of history, you're dead. What the fuck does it matter? What are you gonna do? Hey, wake him up. Fucking, you're on the wrong side of history. Oh, I was? Oh, fuck it. I'm still dead. You know? Like...
Yeah, man, I don't know. Okay.
people are just in my, I mean, no matter what happened, people in my DMs, right? If you have a following, forget it. You can't make any post without, what are you going to say about the, you know? I got people in my comments right now, hey, are you going to say anything about Gaza?
No, you don't. No, you don't. Where? Show me where. No one has said anything but absolute positive affirmations for your ass. You've been my favorite comedian since Jump Street. What in the fuck is the etymology? I don't know. Who cares? Just made my night. Life rips. Shaka, bruh. Happy birthday to Chris, but also us. Workaholics, blah, 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 blah. Workaholics, Chris is the real Chris. Same Chris that portrayed Eminem. Was he a Predator on that or something? I think his episodes got removed. Somebody gave him $10. He hearted it. No one is saying, what are your thoughts on Gaza, Chris? And if they were, that's still a crazy take. Just because, who gives a shite what Chris D'Elia is saying? Apparently I do. Apparently I do. Alright, but again, confirmed, no one in his comments is saying boo.
And I'm just like, where's that?
Remember, because like he doesn't know the Asians and the blacks and the Mexicans, and those are all the ones I know. Same joke, bro.
Remember when it was okay to be an idiot and you didn't lose your job? He said idiots working, not saying
Bitch, you ain't never had a job in your motherfucking life.
shit. I don't know, do my job. Nah, it's okay, he can work, he's an idiot. Not anymore, you gotta be fucking well, smart, and you say too much, you get fired. That's what
Again, I feel so much like Chris D'Elia hasn't slept in days.
Because if you don't say the right thing, they'll be, you know. Because here's my favorite thing that they get you with is silence is violence. That's
Oh, mine was better.
my favorite. Silence is violence. That's how twisted it is right now. Silence is violence.
It's not right now. Silence is violence. I want to say it was like some George Floyd 2020 shit.
Silence is violence. Silence is not violence. Silence is so peaceful. Dude, I have 2 kids, okay?
Oh, no.
When they're silent, I'm not thinking of killing anyone. Silence is silence. Silence hasn't been violent since fucking ninjas, all right? Since the 1500s. You had to...
I saw somebody comment about that. Like, that's my favorite.
Maybe worry if it got too quiet. You'd be like, wait a minute. And you might hear something like... What the hell is that? Even the weapons were silent. They didn't have guns. They just go... oh no, oh, I knew it was too quiet. Oh, silence is violence. Silence is violence.
He's laying down, he's holding his neck because he got like blow darted or whatever, and he goes, silence is violence. They're applauding him for having laid down on the stage.
Silence is a violence. Violence is a violence. Violence is loud. You ever been around violence? It's loud. It goes like, pop, pop, bang. Oh no! Ow! My legs! Ow! Row! There's a jaguar. It's loud. People are trying to call shit what it's not. It's crazy. That's why I can't even deal with the hypocrisy of it. Like I'm like Hollywood's crazy weird, bro. Like I was in Hollywood. I knew these people, and then I would see them. Like anytime something would happen, like I stand with the, you know. And it's like, dude, I saw you snorting cocaine off of someone's dick. Like I saw it.
Totally related, and I bet you did, Chris.
Remember when
I hope that poor kid's okay.
I was there and now I gotta watch this fucking video and they're just like, I pledge to do better. It's like, dude.
What, did you catch yourself halfway through realizing you were nearing self-awareness? You were right There, my man. You were so close to being like, oh shit, wait, that's exactly what I did. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to ask a teenager for nudes. I know now. All of this, all of the egregious things, and I wish he was being self-aware. I wish he was saying things that he knows that he did and does as a satirical approach to self-awareness. Look, I know I'm this guy. That would genuinely be funny. But that's not the comedic genius that everyone's referring to down in the comments. They just think it's funny when he lays down on the ground pretending he was blow-darted by a ninja.
I watch. Like, I can't watch. Here's the thing, man. I can't watch any more Marvel movies. I'm done with Marvel movies.
This thing has a mind of its own, I tell you. AI's taking over, man.
It's all right. It's too many Marvel movies. Remember when? It's too many. Sometimes you're in the middle.
Were you supposed to be in a Marvel movie, or am I mistaken?
You're watching them.
Let's fucking figure it out here. Chris D'Elia. What movie was Chris D'Elia kicked out of? Chris D'Elia was removed from the 2021 Netflix movie Army of the Dead following sexual misconduct allegations. Director Zack Snyder. Director Zack Snyder. Oh, wait, no, am I thinking of Ryan Johnson? Whatever. They're all bad. Replaced him with comedian Tig Notaro, who was digitally inserted into the film using green screens and reshoots for the role of helicopter pilot Marianne Peters. You lost the role of Marianne, Chris, and you did it to yourself, bruv.
You go to a movie and you don't even realize it.
By the way, help me steal bruv from the British. I think that's very funny. Lost my strings.
It's a Marvel movie. In the middle of it, they're like, oh, Thor shows up. You're like, ah, fuck, I had no idea. They got me, you know? Remember in the Marvel universe, remember they all died? Remember they made the movie where they all died? Like, they all died. And then what happened? They made another Marvel movie right after that, right? They just disappeared, actually. Spider-Man was like, I don't feel good. Mr. Stark. And he disappeared. Everyone in the theater was crying, and I was like, fuck yeah, no more Spider-Man movies, right? Then what they do? They made another Spider-Man movie right after that. They made a whole bunch. They ramped it up. They made them with different actors. They had the Tom Holland one, and then they had the one with the three of them in it, and then they had the cartoon one with the black one, and then in that one they had a bunch of different Spider-Men to make everyone happy. They had a fucking pig Spider-Man in the fucking multiverse. They had a pig Spider-Man.
It's like you watched that movie very closely.
Dude, I guarantee it.
Also, Spider-Verse. When the fuck did Spider-Verse come out? Just so we have some kind of frame of reference. When did Spider-Verse come out? Buckle up here. December 14th of 2018. So, as I said, right around 10 years-ish old. I mean, it's not quite 10. It's like...
This is a joke, but this will happen. There will be a moment soon where they make a movie with a paraplegic Spider-Man. I promise. Promise. It'll make no sense, and that will be the movie, though. They'll just be like, stop, evildoers!
I don't feel like they need to. Isn't Professor Xavier like,
Just fucking let...
He's like doing like a spin. Excuse me, would you? He's doing like a spin while he's like on a web thing.
He's flailing around.
I think that's part of the problem of his act outs is he doesn't go all out, but he's doing enough to be like ridiculous looking, but he's still kind of doing the like, I'm too cool for this.
Sorry, I don't really control him. It's not my fault. I mean well, but I just kicked the lady's face. Oh, fuck. Hey, this is not fair. Spiders have 8 legs. I don't even have 2.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Spider-Man paraplegic material.
Oh no, watch out, I'm gonna land! Just scraping his face on the concrete. Can someone help me back in?
I don't think you're filling out those shoes, bruv. Those shoes look way too big for you. Proportionally speaking, I feel like your toe comes about a couple inches from the end there. You're not allowed to wear just bigger shoes, man. If you're 9.5 wide, rock it.
Crime is rampant. We should probably get a new Spider-Man. You're like, no, you fucking canceled, bro.
Oh,
Don't
Canceled. You guys remember Canceled?
say that. He has a dream. That's his dream. Everyone's equal.
It's like this guy should just like watch Asmongold. You really can't like. You can pretty much say anything now. He says pretty much everything except for the N and F. Those are the two words he doesn't say.
Cover your hands.
And regardless of context, N-effing people is not funny to do. It's never funny to quietly whisper those words to a sorority girl at a party. It's not funny to do that. So stop. You guys.
That'll be that's how it'll be. All the Avengers will be like the woke Avengers, you know?
Haven't we heard woke Avengers before, or is this just...
It's like a fat Flash, you know what I mean? Like,
I got fat in a flash.
sorry everyone died. Just sorry I couldn't. Everyone died. I didn't know where the napkins were. I didn't want to show up all messy. Hulk's like,
Wait a minute. Was the pig Spider-Man a reference to Family Guy? Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does. This is very, very early Family Guy. I'm almost certain that wasn't Simpsons.
like, don't trigger me. Don't. Hulk's like, don't trigger me.
Kind of redundant, right? Like, Hulk was the original I'm triggered.
You won't like it when I'm triggered. And he doesn't even turn big and green. He turns smaller and frumpy and white. And he's got that haircut, right? I just think there's a problem. Is what I think. They're just called super them. The leader is super they. He's just got his big shoulders, a cape, and a pussy, you know, just flying around. People are like, look, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's... Actually, I can't identify it.
That's the funniest joke he's made this whole thing, just because it's vaguely wordplay. They're like, it's a bird, it's a plane. I can't identify it. That's... So far, MVJ, although it wasn't a tough run, MVJ would be super them.
People are like, super they, help! She's burning alive on the 5th story of the apartment building. Go! It's like, I'll handle it. Hello, ma'am. I'd like to help you. Ma'am, may I help you? Hello, ma'am. May I help you? I need your consent.
Oh, shit, dude. You're really making consent jokes? You, Chris, several, what is it? Let's go back. We're going back. Comedian and Chris, Mr. Multiple waves of accusations regarding sexual misconduct, predatory behavior, and the solicitation of sexually explicit materials with several allegations involving teenagers. D'Elia is going to make jokes about consent.
I'll handle it. Hello, ma'am. I'd like to help you. Ma'am, may I help you? Hello, ma'am.
It doesn't surprise me that Chris thinks that asking for consent is a little ridiculous, but it surprises me that he says it out loud.
I help you. I need your consent. I can't hear you over the flames and the explosions, ma'am.
Isn't it crazy how you can't just like do stuff to girls? You have to ask them if you can do stuff to them.
Hello, ma'am. I need a verbal consent. Can I help you? All right, fuck it. Your body, your choice.
I feel physically ill in the best way. I could not be more stoked about what he just said. Because all those comments that he has going like, you remember the one I read from fucking Zexler or whatever his dipshit name was. Oh, well, Chris, I just really appreciate that you took the time to look inward and fix yourself, and we could all be a little better if we were more like you. And then he comes out here and makes jokes about how asking for consent is ridiculous. It's like, what did you actually learn, Chris? What is your, okay, so you've improved yourself. Please explain in what way.
Later on at the lab, they're just like, good job, Super. Good job, Super They. You did it. You did the right thing. You let her...
Can't get through this fucking bit.
Good job, Super They.
Good job. Good job, Super. Good job, Super They.
You did it. You did the right thing. You let her burn alive. That's what she wanted. She didn't say she didn't want it, so that's what she wanted. It's like, where the fuck is paraplegic Spider-Man?
He's doing this, you know. We like to talk about mic technique here. Something I can speak to from experience. He's kind of doing one of these where you half grip the XLR cable. I don't have one in, but that's where you plug it in. He's kind of doing this. Low grip, kind of flings it around quite a bit. Can't fault him for his mic technique. Probably because he's been practicing this since he was a teenager, because he's never had to have a job because his father is a Hollywood exec.
He's always late.
Google it.
No, he's in the bathroom. The big stall. He's in the fucking...
He's sniffling, he's hacking and gagging. This motherfucker is as sick as he looks.
No, he's on the ceiling like that.
Just sound effects and moving around, huh? Don't worry, though, because in the next 10 minutes, diegetic 10 minutes, we will be doing a reading from Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography. Look, it's Corey Haim. Doesn't he look like Milo from Atlantis? Doesn't this guy throw like... Isn't he like Milo Core? He's Milo maxing, as we say in the looks maxing business.
Super They. Go check on paraplegic Spider-Man. He's like, I would.
I hear that people think I'm joking about that. That's crazy. Look at me, for fuck's sake.
But I'm not allowed in that bathroom.
See my shirt? I'm maxing looks here, bro. It's me showing my symmetric... Never mind.
It's all ridiculous, you know? And it's fine, I guess, because every generation says the new generation is ridiculous. And I guess everything, I don't know, we're all still here, yeah? But, like, I do worry now, because I'm a dad. I do. I have 2 kids, and they're going to grow up to probably be white men as well. And
yeah, they probably are going to figure out right around their teen years what kind of guy you are. God, could you fucking imagine being a kid and you're in, like, computer class or whatever the future is like? And some little shit like young me comes up and is like, you know, your dad is known for his predatory behavior and sexual misconduct allegations, including the solicit.
I got 2 boys, you know, and they're great. I got Calvin, I got William, and they're 4 and 1, and it's the most fun shit, dude. They're 4 and 1, and we're potty training them.
His poor fucking wife, dude.
Actually, we're potty training the 4-year-old, not the 1-year-old, and I know that.
I think it was a red bar point, but yeah, it's just she just kind of sits there, and I guess I don't know, whatever. You know,
that seems late, but it doesn't. Here's a life.
Circuses and monkeys and all that.
Just wait to potty train. It's so much easier, dude. People think you need to do it right away. You ever try to potty train a 2-year-old? They don't even know what you're talking about. You're like, no, don't go potty there. Go potty there. They're like, what's there? They don't know words.
He was young.
I wanted to wait even longer. My son's 4. I wanted to wait till he was like 11, you know? You know how easy that would be? He'd be like, oh, by the way, this is where you have to go. And he'd be like, bet. You know? Like...
So yeah, it's nice having the piano. Little show notes here. Peek up the kilt. This is nice because it makes it transformative inherently. So I don't, I don't need to be constantly stopping it. We can get some rhythm going. And it's also funny because to kind of like play along with it, kind of find the tempo of his speaking voice and kind of like try to match it, which I didn't realize I was doing until I was watching back the last episode. I was like, yeah, this kind of fucks.
But yeah, dude, it's so fun. Potty training is it's the funniest shit parenting for me. I just can't, dude. It's so funny because like she's my wife's like, we can't wait too long. He's 4. He's the only kid in the class with a diaper still. So
that's like diagnosable, bro.
I'm like, all right, fair enough. I'll do it, And so we go to potty train him. I love it because it's so funny because.
I'm not even gonna make that joke. We're gonna keep moving.
4-year-olds, like, they don't, it's just, adults, we always make it, Like, we always make it. There's a very rare instance where we don't make it. And
I just had an interesting thought. This isn't the world I want, but it's an interesting thought experiment, so bear with me here. What if, when Chris got canceled, Brendan Schaub and Bryan Callen just like, you don't want to say had his back because that makes it seem like I think that what they did was the wrong move. They should have cut him out entirely. Seemingly they did. They all pretended they didn't know the guy. D'Elia? How's that? Is there an apostrophe in that? How is that even spelled? D'Elia? Never heard of the guy. Been podcasting with him for years. And yeah, we went on tour that time, but I don't know what he does. I have no idea. And then the fighter and the kid continued on. I'm almost certain that's the story. I'm not. Let me know if you're part of that Reddit or community or whatever, and fill in the blanks for anyone who's curious. But from what I understand, that's what happened. He was pretty much on air. And you can actually look at my old video. Just go to the bottom of hit videos on my channel and go to the very bottom. And it's the second to first one. So I suppose second one. And I cover the moment where Chris is sitting there. In real time, we get to watch him realize that you can save Snapchats. And that's how he got busted, was he was talking to these kiddos on Snapchat, allegedly. And people were screenshotting his texts and that kind of thing. And he's like, wait, so you can't save Snapchats. I thought those go away. And his producer's like, you can screenshot them. And you just watch him go. Yeah. As they're continue to joke around, he just watches soul leave his nose. But what if, after that, Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub, what if they would have done a united front on us? Well, they would have gotten a ton of backlash, you're probably thinking to yourself. More backlash than they already have? He's like the most hated guy. Schaub. Callen's 4th or 5th most hated guy, especially in comedy. I'd say 3rd or 4th most hated dude. People weren't even really willing to hear his special out. But what would have happened if they'd have just stuck together and all been like, that's right, we rape and we don't care? I feel like they would have had a far stronger fan base. And this is all in retrospect, hindsight 2020. But I feel like that would have galvanized their fan base. That would have made them all kind of stick together, and I don't know. It's strange because now you watch Schaub quit comedy and the podcast is dying, according to Podcast Cringe and American React, and probably true. I don't fucking know. The podcast is dying. Schaub he gave up on his comedy career, and Bryan Callen is thinking about KMSing himself. What is it? So I don't know. You gotta wonder. We
just give up, we're...
If nothing else, the question is, how much did they really help themselves? I think they made the right decision, but if you're thinking about it professionally, and again, with the clarity of retrospect, how much did it really help them? We're
in the car, and we're like, oh, fuck it.
Especially because they They didn't go like, dude, we always had our suspicions. Chris is kind of a fucking weird guy. Apparently, it's worst case scenario. We had no idea. We're sorry that we platformed the guy. We continue to help platform him. We're with you. He's a bad dude. But instead, they were like, I don't know. It could be. I don't know. I just like, I'm so upset right now. But not because I know him. I don't know. I'm overwhelmed with emotion. I don't know. It just, food for thought.
You know what I mean? It would do it. It's crazy. I haven't done that in 20 years, you know? But, my son is 4, and it's funny how much he doesn't make it. Like, you take it for granted.
Chris, it's not funny.
44, you know?
That poor fucking kid.
Oh, but he's just, this is how my...
Also, quit telling people his name. Like, say what you will about Joe Rogan. I think he's done a great job of that. He doesn't talk about his fucking kid. He'll maybe talk about that he has kids. I personally, I'm not a big JRE guy, but like, I've watched enough of it to know he owes Tom DeLonge an apology, which we should cover at some point, but we'll do that when we have a TV back here, right behind my head. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lives recently, and the bar is not high, so we'll just put it up, and then we'll figure it out from there. And when we do, we'll do my Tom DeLonge JRE coverage. But anyway, I haven't watched a whole lot of Joe Rogan Experience. But to me, I don't know shit about his kids. I don't know their fucking names. I don't know how old they are. I know I couldn't miss the show. I don't know how old they are. I don't know anything about them, which I think is the exact right move when you're a public figure, because you don't know that your kids are going to want to be like a movie star, like their weird dad. Like, and now this kid, this Calvin dude, has no chance at anonymity, because I guess to be fair, he has the same last name, but yeah, it just feels weird and wrong, doesn't it? I never talk about my 4 kids.
My son goes a lot of the time. This is how he goes to the bathroom a lot. He'll be like, hey, Dad, I got the
Eeks family.
2 Transformers right here.
Chippo Jr. Eeks.
There's one here, and there's one here. One here's the little one, and this one's big one. And together, hey, Dad, I have to go potty. I'm pissing. Dad, I'm peeing. I'm pissing right now.
Oh, he's starting to bust out his voice.
And my instinct is to be like, no. But you can't do that, because it's a total natural thing what he's doing, right? If you get mad at him for doing something natural, my wife was like, no, you don't.
You gotta scream.
Don't do that.
No!
I'll fuck him up later. It's true. You know? You don't piss. Did you fucking piss over here? You know?
Rub his nose. I'm pushing it here. Now that's some shit you shouldn't say.
He's gonna grow up. He's gonna be like, oh, I will not piss. I'll never piss. I won't piss again. I am bad when I pee. Bad. I'm bad for peeing. Then it'll grow up and it'll turn into a kink. You know what I mean? Like, that's always what happens. Whenever you get shamed.
So what the fuck happened to you, bro?
Gets turned sexual. And there's no way I want him growing up being like, all right, well, I guess I gotta have women pee on me to get off. Like, I'm not doing that to myself.
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm filling in my tattoos more. Hard to show here. But yeah, I got the checkers I've been working on a little more. Taking a little bit more direction. I kind of fell in love with doing it. A lot of people don't know this, but this is all original. Yeah, I do stick and poke. And I'm happy with the way these came out. Which has not always been the case, but that's what we're working on. Ooh, also I did my knee. This is my little Ty Rivera star. I wanted to be just like the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Shout out. I don't watch a lot of Ty Rivera stuff anymore, just because it's so politically charged. But I don't always agree with him. Not that that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying it to cover my own ass. I don't always agree with Ty Rivera, but I do fucking love the guy.
So my wife's like, you gotta just.
He's fucking brave. He's someone who is, I mean, he's an openly gay MAGA man. That is a brave stance alone. Like, that's, you know, He is a warrior. Chris D'Elia wishes he had half of the stones that Ty Rivera has.
You gotta tell him it's okay. I'm like, it's kind of not okay.
And they might be friends. I don't fucking know.
No? He's your best friend. I'm like, yeah, I don't even have a fucking worst enemy that was stared directly into my eyes while they take his shit on my couch, you know?
Not that you know of, bro.
That's diabolical.
Goddamn right it is.
But it's my job. So I was coming down the stairs and he was near the bathroom, outside of the bathroom, and he was like this, okay? And I said, oh, hey, what's up, Calvin? And he was like, hey, Dad, can I poop on the floor? Like, he just said it like that. Just like that. And
Third Monopoly guy. No idea why I did 3 this way, but here we are.
I was going to be like, no, but my wife was looking at me.
Christoph
so I
Waltz?
was like,
oh,
so
no, wait, this is...
I had to act like I didn't. I was like, well,
let's
Cook. Think, you know?
This is Dane Cook.
Like, I didn't know. Like, I was like, well, you know what I said? I said, maybe, is there a better place to do that?
Oh, did you? Did this totally ridiculous thing happen, or is this just fluff?
Dude, you know what my son said? The end of the bed? And then I still had to be like, I don't know if that's right.
Are you starting to understand what I mean about the Monopoly guy? Where the entire premise of what's supposed to be funny is exclusively, how ridiculous is this thing that I'm telling you? It's not about timing. It's not about being clever or subversion of expectation. It's literally just like, isn't this thing, you have to take my word about its existence? Isn't that crazy, this thing? Isn't this situation, which I'm telling you about, the craziest situation? None of this happened. And the thing is it's fine to do. Everyone does it a little bit. That's fiction, right? But when you're leaning on it exclusively, when the only thing we can take away from this story is like, wow, that sure is a ridiculous thing that happened, it's a Monopoly guy joke. With that lens, take a look.
And he was like, hey, Dad, can I poop on the floor? Like, he just said it like that.
Sure, maybe.
Just like that. And I was going to be like, no, but my wife was looking at me, so I was like, oh. So I had to act like I didn't. I was like, well, let's think, you know? Like, I didn't know. Like, I was like, well, you know what I said? I said, maybe, is there a better place to do that? Dude, you know what my son said? The end of the bed? And then I still had to be like, I don't know if that's right.
You're right. Because his wife is there. It's like, all right, sure, that's a ridiculous, wacky thing in your wacky, ridiculous life.
I know it's fucking right, you know?
Nope, neither do they, which is why there's this, like, slow crawl of laughter.
It's fucking right, you know?
No one is stoked on this.
It's so funny, dude. Like,
it's not.
I don't know.
In my opinion.
The first time he did it, he was on the...
Oh, by the way, okay. I made the mistake of referring to the, quote, forefathers of the genre. And I said beige frequency, blah, 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 blah. There's no one in the world that doesn't know, that's ever watched this show that doesn't know that a massive inspiration for me is Red Bar Radio and Jules and Mike. That's the 4 or 5, like, that's the guy. As American Redux said, we're all in the Mike David sphere. It's one of the few things he's ever said that I strongly agree with, and I'll always give him credit for that, because it's a solid fucking point. People call it the Rogan sphere, but realistically, most of us either came to it from Red Bar or were drawn to it watching people who themselves were inspired by Red Bar. I said the forefathers of the genre and then followed it up with beige frequency, and I kind of got a weird taste in my mouth. What I was referring to is comedy critiquing, reviewing people's specials. You didn't see a whole lot of it that I am aware of. Let me know who the OGest of G's is. But I had to clear that up. Not because anyone called me out, but because I didn't like what I said, because it seemed like I misspoke. Now, I do stand behind the fact that, like, you know, Beige is one of the first people that I saw doing it. And if you look at the dates on his videos, it predates a lot of the current, like, big names. But just in case everyone was confused.
Toilet.
I heard, to be fair, I heard about Beige Frequency on Red Bar.
And he was so,
Red Bar.
he was like, I don't want to do this here. I was like, this is where you do it. And he was like, I have not been doing this for 4 years. I don't want to. So it's okay, just relax. And he was like, but it's a, you know, because they think it's like a part of them, you know? They think it's like they're losing a part of them. Like, which kind of makes sense. It's in you and then it's not in you anymore. That's crazy.
So he did this in, now that I'm thinking about it, he did this in Grow or Die. We love you, Chris. Thanks, man. Fuck you. He does this like, oh, I've got a kid, and aren't I so sweet because I'm a dad? And I'm like, I'm not the guy that everyone thinks I am. Consent is bullshit, but I'm like a nice dad guy.
Crazy, you know? But he was so scared. It was the funniest fucking thing he said. He was starting to go, and he was like, okay. And I was looking at him, and he
This feels like I shouldn't be hearing it, if I'm honest.
just goes, oh man, he goes like this. He says, I love you. Like,
Okay. Cute. I will give you real money to stop talking about this. Totally real money and not money that I got from a giveaway on Cards Against Humanity. Nothing like that. Real money. I'll pay it. I'll pay it to you if you just stop talking about your son pooping. Please, for fuck's sake, please. Oh wait, yeah, because it's not from Cards Against Humanity. This is my my Cuban Relief Fund money. Also, I started a hospice care recently. And guess which town it's in. Am I right, my red pill friends?
like he's going into outer space or some shit. Like he's just shitting. I love you. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, I
Okay, fine, but I'm not paying you.
love you too, buddy. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'm done. All that stuff's new. As a kid, it's all new, you know? Even going to the bathroom, that's crazy. Like, my son hasn't thrown up yet, and I wonder what that's gonna be like for him, you know? Because that's gotta be crazy. Because I remember the first time I threw up. When I was a kid, I was so freaked out. You don't...
What? Is he trying to say... Before I go after him, let's understand what he's saying.
You know? Because that's got to be crazy. Because I remember the first time I threw up. When I was a kid, I was so freaked out. You don't imagine. You're just somebody that gets plopped here.
Well, there's another point for Chris D'Elia being a genius. You remember the first time you...
Like, you know what throwing up feels like. You've been drunk and you got to throw up and shit. But now, imagine that never happened and you never knew anyone threw up. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on? I swear to God, it feels like he's coming this way.
Do you guys hate this as much as me? Then please follow and subscribe because we are indeed of a try.
I remember I was like young and I was like, hey Dad, I don't know what's happening, but that's like a crazy feeling in between. He's like, maybe you have to go poop. And I was like,
whatever he's talking about. This kind of keeps happening. Actually, it's happened to me twice now. I reviewed Ryan Long. And I didn't really like his stand-up comedy very much. But then, since I was subscribed to him, I started getting his shorts in my shorts feed. And that's definitely where he's the strongest. The same could be said, well, I mean, his act was far stronger, but Gianmarco Saresi. Gianmarco is very organically funny. There have been a few clips of his that I've like really truly enjoyed, and it cracks me up that not even that it cracks me up, it kind of gives me hope because he was in a few classes below D'Elia and he's starting to really blow up, And that gives me hope for the genre, for the art of stand-up comedy, which I do believe it's an art, but you can't just say that or people will think your podcast cringe. People will think you're cringe on a podcast. Those people are dumb. It is an art form, but it gives me hope for the art form itself and for the industry that follows that art form, that Gianmarco Ceresi is truly funny. And I doubt he's going to R-word anybody. And not the R-word you wish I was saying, Christopher.
Just doesn't feel like that. It's like, oh, maybe you have to throw up. I was like,
excuse me.
What is that, you know?
It was an involuntary release.
He was like, sometimes when you eat, it goes into your tummy, and then it doesn't agree. And basically, it's like, instead of pooping...
This is how you describe throwing up to your very confused 4-year-old?
It'll come out of your mouth.
This is the worst of all things. This is irredeemably awful. If this was all I knew about Chris D'Elia, I would hate him more than I do. Wait.
That's how he explained it. And I was like, no, not mine.
Oh, he's the little kid here. It's somehow worse.
Mine. Trust me, it's going to come out of here. I will make that happen, you know? Put your phone away, sir.
That's my guy. I love Phone Guy. Phone Guy rules. Chris, we can't blame the audience, man. Like, what you're saying is making at least people with decent taste go, fuck off, dude. Like, get off your phone, sir. People in the comments were, like, praising him for, like, saying that. And I'm just like, okay, I guess, sure, yeah. He sure did confront that man. Confront that man.
And my dad was like, it's okay, it's totally natural. And I was like, no, let's make sure this comes out of
Let's make sure this comes out
my butt, you know? He was like, it's not up to you. And I was like, you can talk about your body and the way you want to. It's up to me, it's coming out of my butt, right?
No. Wrong. 1,000 times wrong.
He was like, all right, just, you know, let's go to the bathroom. I got to the bathroom and he was like, go, okay, now you gotta go to the toilet. And I go to sit and he was like, no, you gotta put your face in.
My brain is going to like places that I'm like, you know, my happy place. For instance, I get to go see Stars on Ice soon. Hail the Quad God, baby. The U.S. figure skating team is fucking amazing this year. I just got into it at Olympics. I watched the saga of the Quad God, Ilya Melinin. And then the resolution of Worlds. Spoiler alert. 2, 3, 4. He took first at Worlds. He took the gold and deserves it. He's the Quad God, baby. He brought backflips back to the sport, son.
In it.
That's where my head goes when I hear Chris D'Elia. I'm like, what are nice things in my life? What are some things in my life that I like?
For it to come out. And I was like, no, I don't want to.
Best case scenario, this ends in an act out, and that's such a dismal scenario.
He was like, it's okay, buddy, I'll be right here. And I looked in the toilet and I was like, oh. I was like, well, be careful back there because I'm still trying, you know?
You thought that was that funny.
I know you're convinced on it's going to come out of my mouth, but you're...
I like that the sweatier he gets, the more you can see his scalp. Cooler with the act outs.
Right behind me.
We're going to get to the end of this nonsense, awful material, and this particular section of the nonsense, awful material. And then we're going to do a reading from Corey Feldman's autobiography. You guessed it. Excuse me, would you? Choreography.
I was so scared.
He's making my bodies do functions.
He turned me around. My dad was the shit.
And not in a good way.
He's the shit. He turned me around and he was like, well, buddy, look, I know you're scared, but don't worry about it. To prove that it's natural, just...
Weren't you raised by, like, a nanny? Haven't you said that a lot of times?
Throw up on me. It was really sweet.
No, it isn't.
You know, it's kind of weird, but like,
This is why you are the way you are. Your dad was like, I know throwing up is scary, so do it on me? That's not sweet. And he didn't do that. No one's instinct would be that.
it was like,
That's not how you comfort a sick kid, dude.
I'm your dad. Just
Comfort him on you comfort him on Snapchat, am I right, Chris?
throw up on me.
Stupid. This is dumb.
And I go like this. This is what I did. I go like this. Oh, just right. Just up, like vomit projectile on his, and by the way, joke's on him, because I also took a shit.
It's not going to get better than that. Let's just go ahead. We're going to turn on some music. We're going to wash our palates out with some Corey Feldman. So, on the last reading of Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography, we were learning about Corey's mom. A bit of a dismal affair. She has some kind of undiagnosed, some personality disorder or something. I'm not a doctor, neither here nor there. But there will be times where she'll go in. There will be times where she'll go into a room and she won't come out for days. Not only that, but after Corey started getting commercials and work, his mom started being very weird about him eating food, kind of subtly planting the seeds of an eating disorder. Corey, get in here. She's in her room again, the door barely cracked ajar. Yes? I retrace my steps down the hallway until I'm standing outside her door. She's lying on her bed, half-dressed, watching a haze of gray static glowing from the television. Did you eat the cookies in the cabinet? I felt a knot forming in the pit of my stomach. No, I say in a voice no bigger than a whisper. No? Then why are there crumbs in your bed? I don't know. Well, perhaps you'd like to explain. Did the dog eat the cookies, Corey? Did Shadow climb up into the cupboard? Maybe, I venture, hoping she'll let my thievery go. Don't lie to me, Corey. You're lying. Did you eat the cookies? Well, maybe I ate one. Maybe you ate one? Or two? Which is it? One or two? I swallow, hard. I ate two. She sits up a little at my admission. Well then, you're grounded. Those cookies are not for you, and you know it. So now I want you to come in here and stare at the wall for 1 hour. And you're not going to have anything else to eat for the rest of the day. I walk slowly into her room and take my place in the corner. I look at my feet, at the wall, at anything but her. She drones on and on until I suddenly realize that I'm afraid of her, that I hate her. Still, I want nothing more than to crawl into her big bed and watch Mary Hartman. Or listen to her stories about bunnies and parties and what her life was like before me. You have no right to disrespect me like this. She's in a rage now, huffing and puffing. You ungrateful shit! How dare you look at me like that? I'm not looking at you, I say. Well, then turn around and look at me when I'm talking to you. Do you have any idea how lucky you are? Do you realize that most women would die to look like this after 2 kids? Look at these tits, she says, cupping her breasts in her hands. But I don't want to look at her. I just want something to eat. I thought back to the Baskin-Robbins commercial I had filmed just a few weeks before, to the mountains of pumpkin ice cream that had stretched before me, to the way the assistant director had smiled when he handed me a spoon. Actors are generally encouraged not to swallow on shoots like these. Ingesting bite after bite, shooting take after take, would be enough to make most people sick. But I had learned a clever trick. I would only pretend to spit out my food in a napkin. That's how I went through 1.5 gallons, secretly savoring every bite. I knew my mother was getting worse, her behavior more erratic. I couldn't, however, understand why. From my perspective, nothing had changed much, except that I was working more, booking more jobs, and going to more auditions. And yet, she still knew how to turn on the charm, how to perform for people's approval. She might have spent the entire morning in bed calling me fatso and piggy and ordering me around the house. But then we'd drive to an audition and she would immediately switch gears. As soon as we stepped onto the parking lot pavement, she'd jerk my arm and say, "That's enough now. Wipe off the tears." Then we'd breeze through the door of the casting office, and she'd be bright and buoyant, a giant smile plastered across her face. If someone inquired about my red eyes and blotchy cheeks, she'd simply shrug. "I don't know what he's so upset about," she would say. "He's such a good actor, this kid. He's so dramatic. Always acting, that's what he does best." This has been a reading of Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography. Let's get back to Chris D'Elia. God, that's a dark story. I hope it starts taking a funny turn soon. But we're locked in. We just hit chapter 2, my friends. All right, I'm going to go back here.
Projectile on his...
Because I'm going to use that laugh track, which could be any laugh track. And I'm going to go get myself some more water for me. I'll be right back. Enjoy the Chris D'Elia.
And by the way, joke's on him, because I also took a shit. Yeah, man, it's wild, dude. I just don't want to mess up my kid too bad.
Like, are they laughing at?
That's the thing. You do mess up your kid.
Can you please explain to me why that was so? What? Cause poopy? Who are these people? Chris D'Elia fans, talk to me in the comments, please. I know you're not rational people. I know you're not critical thinkers. You're probably not particularly articulate, but please try to tell me what it is you like about Chris. Multiple allegations, including some involving teenagers. D'Elia.
You can't help it. You try your best, but you fall short. That's the fucking craziest part. You try your best, and you're not even gonna know how you fucked them up. You know what the worst part is? You know who's gonna know how?
We have some guesses.
How? Your kids is the only person gonna know how. That you fucked them up. And you're not even gonna know until one day they come home from college and like summer break. You know? They're just gonna be, you're gonna be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, throw me a soda from the fridge." And you're like, "A soda, huh?" You're like, what the f-?
I wondered about this, so I should have brought it up when I saw it, but he's got 2 mic stands on stage, or excuse me, he's got 2 stools, black stools, you know, Rogan stool humping stools. 2 of them on stage. One of which has a bottle of water. The other, he just knocked over to like emote or something like that. One of them's for props. The other one's for function.
Fuck, they're like, "Yeah, you don't even know, you don't remember."
He walks over, bends over, and picks up, excuse me, would you, this stool.
Because trauma, I thought trauma was always something big, you know? I always thought it was like a big thing, like you're like...
He does this too. In his second act, which we are well into, I don't know what struck. To be honest, this is not particularly well structured. Even he says, "This isn't how I'd usually edit a special." He does a hell of a lot to lower our expectations before we get to this thing, but who cares? His fans don't give a shit anyway. But he does this thing where he'll kind of, right around the 3/4 mark, he'll sit, he curls up on his stool like this, and he just like talks from the heart, you know? That was when he like, I quoted this part of his first, or his Grow or Die special, I quoted it earlier, but the whole like, you know, really, we love you, man. Like, he kind of like trails off dramatically, and then one random person in the audience is like, we love you, Chris. And everyone starts kind of like half clapping, and he goes, thank you, man. It's just so contrived. Mr. Abrams' fucking method over here is about to tell us how it is, but in like a sentimental way. So, it should be amazing.
You are in the woods and then somebody fucks you, and you know what I mean?
I don't.
And you don't ever go to those woods again, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, I stare at those woods, you know what I mean? I feel so fucking traumatic when I go in those woods. I don't go, you know? But like, trauma isn't necessarily what happens to you.
Okay.
It's how you feel about what happens to you. So that's crazy, right? Because what if you're just a big pussy?
Or what if you're like a teenage girl and you come out on Twitter talking about how an adult-ass comedian was being misconductful with you, and then all your fans call her a dumb slut? What about that kind of trauma? I never saw anyone actually doing that. It just seems like his fans, if they're still around, they're maybe that kind of guy / gal.
Like, there's big trauma, but then there's little trauma. It's actually what it's called. Like, my therapist was telling me, there's big trauma and little trauma. One time I was at...
He's an LA guy. But since he's bringing up therapist, I want to continue. I am the only beating pulse who's paying attention to this. All of the New York comics have the same therapist, and his name is Alan, and I think it's a huge deal that no one's talking about it. That's all I've got for now.
At dinner and with my mom, and I was young.
You know, I got it on my show notes. I'll list off all of the comedians I have heard admit they either did go to him or are still going to him. It's down here. Alan, therapist to the stars. He is the therapist to, or was a therapist to, by their own admission, Bobby Kelly. You know what, dude? Brandon Sagalow, quote not found. Dan Soder, I do voices. Jordan Jensen, I do men, but people don't think so. Mark Norman, comedy. Ronan Hirschberg, I'm way funnier than all of these people. That's all I have so far. That's 6 fucking people in the same group of work friends in the same industry, all kind of parroting the same shit. Isn't that weird? I like some of those comedians, but isn't it just, it's weird. It's weird that they all have the same guy. The amount of impact the therapists have over their subjects. I mean, they all talk about it. He's talking about it now. I'm not saying therapy is bad. I'm just saying it's weird that they all have the same dude. Some guy named Alan. Who are you, Alan?
And we were at the dinner table at home. It was just me and her. And she said, you know what you need? You need to walk different.
Let's go back. This is another Monopoly guy.
This was telling me there's big trauma in the little part. One time I was at dinner and with my mom, and I was young, and we were at the dinner table at home. It was just me and her. And she said, you know what you need? You need to walk different. And nobody fucked me in the woods, but in my head, I blocked it as I was 9. I was like, I just learned how. Fuck it, she doesn't, you know. I was like, 5.
Just learned how to walk at 9? Chris may have a little something.
I'll be damned if I think about, I'm 44, I think about that at least 5-6 times a year. I swear to God. Like, sometimes I walk out of the elevator, I'm like, I bet my mom would be proud the way I did that. Like, that's crazy. That's a tape that plays in my head.
Not that crazy, dude. It's, formative memory, I think they call it.
It's hard to unlearn it, you know?
Unless you're a therapist being paid to help people work through their trauma, in which case it's definitely trauma, according to them. Isn't that fucking convenient?
And that happened a lot. Like, little trauma was different than big trauma. My therapist is like...
To take the whole hour talking about little and big traumas? Big trauma being trauma, and little trauma being pay me more money while we work out how your mom told you to walk different once when you were 9.
Big Trauma
The bigger deal you should be talking about is why you just learned how to walk at 9, but I'm no doctor.
and Little Trauma are both their own thing. I didn't really understand what it was, like, because I was like, how can you get fucked up just by things people say? And so this
energy today brought to you by Mio. Not a paid endorsement, just a thing I like.
I'm going to tell you, this is the difference between Big Trauma and Little Trauma.
You can get them for like $4 and you can drink them for like a week. Make them as strong as you want, and it makes Red Bull. It makes Red Bull look like sugar water.
Okay.
There's like 4,000% of your B12 in this or something awesome. I don't know. It rolls. Get some Mio.
Big Trauma is like your...
Use code EEKS.
You're hanging out in your house with your wife or your husband or whatever, okay? And all of a sudden, the door bursts in, the front door bursts in, and there's a dude there, and he's got a gun and no...
Oh, God. My brain does this thing. That I believe is a self-preservation technique where when someone is absolutely full of shit, I just can't even listen to them. I'm so impressionable that, like, I'll just, like, take things on and people say things and I'm like, huh, that's what I believe now, I guess. And I think as a part of that grander mechanism, I have this little bit where it's like, oh, I don't believe anything you say. And it shoots me in the foot a little bit in these cases because I have to sit here and listen to Chris D'Elia. But I just completely tuned him out. So let's go back a little.
Big Trauma is like you're hanging out in your house with your wife or your husband or whatever, okay? And all of a sudden, the door bursts in, the front door bursts in, and there's a dude there, and he's got a gun and no pants, okay? Right? And a huge dick, right? Like a really big dick. Like, but it's weirdly big. It's so big that you notice the gun second. Like, that's how big it is. Like, your reaction is like, oh my God, no way, uh-oh, trouble. Like, that's... Okay. And he's there, and you're waiting with your wife, and he's just like, hey, motherfuckers! He's got his gun and his dick, and he's jacking off a little bit, and he's just like, hey, what's up, motherfuckers? Hey... I got a question for you guys, man. And this is what he says. He says, hey, so I ordered a pizza earlier. And it didn't come to my fucking house, man.
He's kind of sitting there doing like a... It's kind of tough to do. Not for Chris.
Did it come? Hey, I'm just checking. Did it come to this house? And then you were like, with your wife, you were like, no. There's no pizza here, I promise. And then the guy's like, are you fucking sure, man? You're like, yeah, I swear to God. Your wife's like, yeah, no, there's no pizza here, you know? He's like, all right. And, you know, he throws his dick over his shoulder and he walks away. That would be so traumatic for you.
That was a long walk, Chris.
Like, there would only be before and after that moment in your life. Like...
That's a funny way of phrasing that. I think Big J Okerson says it a little bit better. There have been... I can't remember what it was. Like, he was on Story Wars and someone mentioned, like, they saw a ghost or something. And he was like, how were you ever normal after that? After seeing that, how did you not dedicate your life to understanding what happened? Like, Chris, again, credit where it's due, he said this in a pretty funny way, where he's like, there would only be before that moment and after that moment, which is a funny way of saying a very magnanimous point in a person. Anyway, whatever.
You're like, hey, remember when that one guy broke in and did a gun and yeah, wow, shit's been different since then, you know?
Okay, kind of restating.
You'd have to move, you'd be like, I can't be in this house. But one thing you would know...
Oh, another really funny dude. What the fuck's his name? I barely knew it when I was Gary Owen. Notably not the cop from Breaking Bad, but Gary Owen. I get his shorts coming through my feed now too. Funny guy. Really fun. You want to talk about like crowd work that is good, isn't just contrived. Gianmarco Zares, he does pretty well too. But Gary Owen is fucking funny, dude. He's you want to talk about being on your toes. That guy very, very light on his feet.
Is that
I didn't love his special, but I can say that I truly enjoy his crowd work and his shorts.
nothing wrong with you? That guy was crazy. That's big trauma that happened to you, okay?
How do you feel about being big trauma in other people's lives, Mr.
Little trauma is like your...
What did this fucker say?
Little trauma
Someone say stop?
is like you're
Stop!
hanging out in your house with your wife or your husband, and there's a knock at the door, okay? And you go get it like you do any other time. There's a knock at the door. And you open it up, and there's a dude there. And he's got no guns, and also he's wearing pants. And he says, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's such a great place and such a beautiful couple here. I'm sorry to bother you. So I was at my house. I ordered a pizza, and the weirdest thing, it never showed up. Are you, by any chance, did you get it here?
He keeps pausing for laughter that's not there, and it's, at this point, almost stylistic. That's wild.
And you go, oh. And you go, oh, no, we didn't get a pizza, sorry, man. And the guy, and the guy goes, oh, I'm so sorry. That is so embarrassing. All right, I'll leave you guys alone. Take care. And he walks away, all right?
Okay.
Sit back down with your wife, you watch the rest of the show you're watching. The next day, there's a knock at your door.
Chris, you make me want to sit up straight. This motherfucker makes me want to walk different.
And you're like, oh, I'm gonna go get it, you know? You go open the door. And it's the same guy again, right? And he's like, oh. I know, I'm so sorry, but it hasn't come yet. Have you guys gotten a pizza today? You'd be like, no, sorry, bro. I don't have any idea, but we definitely didn't get the pizza. And the guy would go like this. I am doubly embarrassed right now. My bad. Have a great day. So long. And he walks away, okay? And the third day, you're hanging out with your wife, and there's a knock at the door.
Excuse me, would you?
And you're
Jesus
like,
Christ.
I hope it's not that fucking pizza guy. And your wife's like, just go check, don't look. I'll look through the peephole. I'll make sure he doesn't see me. And you look through the peephole. It's the same guy, and he's out there. He's like, hi, I can see the shadows moving. I know you're in there. Did you get my pizza today? How many times would that have to happen in a row each day? Would that have to happen in a row until you thought you were the crazy one, right? Until one day your friend will be
This is so convoluted, dude.
like, I'm hungry. Let's get a pizza. And you'd be like, no, don't get fucking pizza. You're traumatized, and you didn't even think that dude was crazy. You deal with that shit enough, and it fucking kind of morphs who you are. You know, because you're too young to deal with all this stuff, and your brain is developing, and all the things are happening. Like, my parents took me to, I used to be scared. I couldn't sleep through the night. My parents were like, we got to take you to a bunch of doctors. They took me to a bunch of doctors, and they were trying to help. But in my head, I was like, man, they think I'm weird, you know? And it fucked me up. But they were still trying to do the right thing. It's not their fault, you know? I remember when I was a kid, I was scared of everything. And I remember the day I learned about sex. I remember my older buddy in my school told me about it. He was like, we were at recess, and he was just like, hey, man. He's like, you know about sex? You know what that is? And I was like, no, what's that? You know?
You're at recess, so you just learned to walk.
He's like, oh, it's so awesome, dude. It feels amazing. He's like, it's when you take your penis and you put it into a girl's area, and it feels so good. And I was like, oh. I was so confused. I was like, you take your penis and you put it into a girl's penis? And he was like, nah, girls don't have penises. And I was like, oh yeah, wow. That's crazy, and it feels so good. And he was like, oh yeah. And I said, and it feels good for the girl? And he was like, sometimes. And I was like, wow.
This makes me feel sick, but not in a good way.
That is crazy, huh? And he was like, yeah, you think that's crazy?
Check out Snapchat.
Some chicks will put it in their mouths. And I was like, the penis? What?
It's not even me being dramatic. I'm literally just trying to breathe through this, man.
And that feels good for them? And he was like, no. I was like, what? That's crazy. He's like, you think that's crazy? There's even some chicks that will put it in their butts. And I was like, what? Does that feel good for them? And he was like, fuck no. I was like, whoa, sex is weird for chicks. I was like, what kind of chick would put a penis in their butt? And I remember he looked at me and he said, Mormons. And you know what? He was right. Mormons do that. They do that. They do that instead of sex because they think it doesn't count. It counts, okay? Right? Like God is up there like, huh, all right, I'll allow it. You know? It's Jesus Christ, not Judge Judy. St. Peter's up there like, oh, well, God.
Fuck? Throwing Judge Judy under your weird bus.
God, you put the butts and the vaginas too close together. It's hard to tell from up here. I don't know whether to put them in hell or not. Is it two guys? Put them in hell.
It was so easy to do her own time.
It's so strange because he seems like he is this close to going full right-wing Christian grift. He's right there. He's not quite ready to make the jump yet, but he's flirting with it. We got just over 20 minutes, diegetic minutes left on this special, and then we will be doing a musical performance by none other than Jippo.
But yeah, man, I remember finding out what sex was, and it's kind of like I used it to just not, I would just think about it all the time. Like once I started coming into my body and then like wanting to have sex, I would think about it, and then I would start having sex. Once I started having sex, and then, you know, that was great. But then once I started getting like a little famous, then I started really having it like so much. And like, because it was way easier, you know?
You know what, next time Beth Stelling puts out a special, I'm going to do it now that I have my piano. Because she's one of, like, 2 people that has copyright claimed me. She did it, and who the fuck else was it? I can't remember who else it was. Somebody fairly recently. If you know who it was, but if you remember me saying so, let me know in the comments.
But I was doing it so much that it was affecting all of the relationships in my life. Like, my friends would be like, yo, like, I had friends sit me down, and they were like, you are having sex with way too many people. And I was like, I was so wrapped up in my own shit. I was like, you fucking haters. Like, you know, you're just mad because you can't do it. You fucking... Why would I stop doing the thing that we all said we were going to do this? You know? You guys are lying. You're not doing it. Come my bag. You know? And then finally my fiance at the time was like, you have to stop. You know? And I was so crazy that I was like, whatever, hater. She's like, I'm gonna leave you. You have to get this shit under control. So I was like, all right, I understand. I don't want you to leave me. I want to have my family. And we found this place. It's a rehab for sex addiction.
Wait. I guess I played over some shit that we need to listen to.
But I stopped doing the thing that we all said we were gonna do this. You know? I was so wrapped up in
Okay, that's weird.
all of the relationships in my life. Like my friends would miss. Then I started really having it like so much. And then I would start
going back a little more. This is his long-winded bit.
Jesus Christ, not Judge Judy.
Jesus Christ, not Judge Judy.
St. Peter's up there like, oh, well, God, you put the butts and the vaginas too close together. It's hard to tell from up here.
St. Peter, huh? That's very specific, Chris.
I don't know whether to put him in hell or not.
It's clear I don't care what you worship or who you worship or whatever the fuck. It's very indicative of a path well trod at this point. Where it's like, well, fuck, no one else likes me. I play Christian rock now?
The two guys, put him in hell.
It's one thing if somebody organically finds, God or whomever, but a lot of these guys, if you are of this belief system, these people you should be anti them. First of all, they're not really on your team, and second of all, they are not doing you guys any favors. I'm not saying Chris is running that grift, but the hard name drop of St. Peter.
Yeah, man, I remember finding out what sex was, and it's kind of like I used it to just not, I would just think about it all the time. Like once I started coming into my body and then like wanting to have sex, I would think about it, and then I would start having sex. Once I started having sex, and then, that was great. But then once I started getting like a little
music. Sorry, we're going back. I got distracted. I saw that on Shorts and was like, I could probably do that.
But yeah, man, I remember finding out what sex was, and it's kind of like I used it to just not, I would just think about it all the time. Like once I started coming into my body and then like wanting to have sex, I would think about it, and then I would start having sex. Once I started having sex, and then, that was great. But then once I started getting like a little famous, then I started really having it like so much, and like, because it was way easier, and
okay.
But I was doing it so much that it was affecting all of the relationships in my life. Like, my friends would be like, yo, like, I had friends sit me down and they were like, you are having sex with way too many people. And I was like,
oh, you're a fucking Mac, bro.
I was so wrapped up in my own shit. I was like, you fucking haters. Like, you're just mad because you can't do it. You fucking... Why would I stop doing the thing that we all said we were going to do this?
Okay. I mean, he is bordering on some self-awareness now. Ew, hate it. Mode. How's that look? That's fine, huh? We're getting into the third act here. We're getting pretty close to the home stretch. Might as well let the lights be a little more lively for my Zoomers out there.
You guys are lying. You didn't hear that?
Which statistically 2% of you are.
Doing it, cut my bag,
Other than that, it's just my fellow Lennies. What up, boys? And you are boys.
And then finally, my fiance at the time was like, you have to stop, and I...
What, bang another oh, okay, that's the joke.
And then finally, my fiance at the time was like, you have to stop, and I... Well, I was so crazy that I was like, whatever, hater.
Okay. Chris.
She's like, I'm gonna leave you. You have to get this shit under control. So I was like, all right. I understand. I don't want you to leave me. I want to have my family. And we found this place. It's a rehab for sex addiction, which I didn't even know existed, but it is. And it was out in the desert in fucking Phoenix. And I was like really bummed that I had to go, because like I was gonna be there for 6 weeks. I didn't want to go. I didn't know anybody there. And then as the date.
Didn't this start off with fear? Didn't he go, oh, when I was a kid, I was scared of everything?
I started to get closer. I started thinking, yo, it's kind of awesome that I have to go here, because...
Talk about reflection.
Like, I fucked so much that I have to go to the place.
It's not what happened, Chris. It is not how it went down, my boy. In fact, if you ask Google, it'll tell you that Chris D'Elia has faced multiple waves of accusations regarding sexual misconduct, predatory behavior, and solicitation of sexually explicit materials, with several allegations involving teenagers. Chris, that's not just because you fuck a bunch.
Where only the...
because you don't know.
Like, elite fuckers go, The top-notch fuckers.
Yeah, the top-notch fuckers, Chris. sure are being reflective. You sure are a guy that learned his lesson and knows his mistakes and is trying to grow and be better, too. This man exhausts me. This dude gave me a cold.
And I'm like, dude, how cool are all these motherfuckers gonna be like in there?
Probably about as cool as you, Chris, but I don't know that you have that kind of self-awareness.
That's who fucks a lot, you know? Just like dudes in leather jackets, smoking, just, hey, what's up, man? How's it going, dude? Can't stop fucking, huh? Yeah,
Check you later.
yeah, me too.
God, he's weirdly flexible. You should not be able to reach your mouth from over there. That's some stay flexy shit.
Crazy easy, right? When you're this cool. So I was like, I can't wait to meet these motherfuckers, you know? So I walked into the rehab, and as soon as I walked in, I saw everybody else in the rehab, all the patients that were already had been there. And they were not cool. And I was like, I walked in and
What do you think he's going to do? You think there's going to be any self-awareness here? Think he's going to glom himself in with the people who aren't cool, and then he realize, hey man, maybe I look like this to other people? Or do you think he's going to high road these fellow sex addicts?
I immediately thought,
Not that sex addiction doesn't exist, I just don't think that's what you got, bro.
oh, I'm like these guys.
Oh my God, is he going to do it?
The first guy I saw, he was this tall, he had a soccer jersey on, and cargo shorts, and
a Monopoly guy monocle, and I was like, this was bringing Monopoly.
and flip-flops, okay? And I was like, who was he fucking, you know? He waved at me, he goes like this. We were inside, he waved at me. I never had somebody close to me inside wave to me before. He was just like, hey, you know?
Oh, what a ridiculous character.
I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like,
See what I mean? I mean, he's one of the most egregious offenders of the Monopoly guy.
what are you
Ism.
in here for? And I was like, fuck. I was fucking a lot of people.
Nope.
I was like, what are you in here for? And he says,
That's the thing, is he never would have gotten busted by the entire internet if he'd just been having sex with people. That's not how you get busted for being like, it's I don't gotta tell you guys.
I'm so addicted to porn, I can't stop watching porn. And I was like, well, yeah, that tracks. You know what I mean? Like, but in my head, I was like, fucking loser. You know what I mean? Like, I was judging, right? I was judging.
And he high roads. He was so close. He even like sniffed some self-awareness, and then he just left it the fuck out there.
The nurse was like, hey, come on, let's go to we gotta process you. Let's go to the nurse's station. So I go to the nurse's station.
Let me guess, she wasn't hot, but you still wanted it.
And we sit down, and it's just me and her in a room. Yeah, I did. I was like, I could probably fuck her. But like, I did. At that point, I was, early on in my recovery, and she says, well, sit down, let's take your vitals, give me your phone. I was like, why do you need my phone? She was like, you can't have your phone while you're here for 6 weeks. I was like, what? Why? I'm not gonna fuck it. Like, why?
You know why, Chris.
She was like, yeah, but we don't know what you're going to be doing with your phone. Who knows? And I was like, oh, I can't have my phone because the fucking guy with the soccer jersey out there, right? So I gave her my phone, and I was like, you can't have your phone. You ever not have your phone for... I didn't have it for 6 weeks. You ever not have your phone for even an hour? You know how weird you look when you don't have your phone? Because stuff gets weird. When things get weird, what do? You grab your phone and go, oh, let me just check what's going on, you know? If you don't have your phone and stuff gets weird, this is how you look. You're the fucking weirdness, yeah? She's like, all right, get out of here. I walked out of the nurse's station. I started crying immediately. I walked out of the nurse's station. I started crying, bro. Just like hard, you know? And they're that...
We love you, Chris. Thanks for breaking it down for us and being real one.
Soccer jersey dude was right fucking next to me. Like right here. And I go, oh, hey. And he was like, hey, you're crying, huh? I was like, yeah. And he was like, don't worry, Bill.
Do not pass go. Do not collect.
I cried when I first got here. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
That's my voice. I bear claim to this. It's my American Redact voice.
Well, how long did you cry? And he was like, 4 days. It's like, oh, Jesus, okay, you know? It was late at night, so the nurse was like, go to your room, and then everyone else goes. They all had roommates. I was like the lonely boy. I didn't have any roommates. I was just going into my room, and it had 2 twin beds. It was so lonely, I cried myself to sleep in one, in one of the twin beds, just looking at another lonely bed. It's like,
See, all of it, again, it's so close to being self-aware. And I'm a cool fella. I'm willing, like, if he would have come out here and been like, look, my last special, I really danced around the issues. What I did was fucked up. And I made victims out of kids, man. I made victims out of people who weren't adults. And this is him in my hypothetical world. Quoting, I'm not making any allegations. Mr. litigious rich dad boy man. If you'd have come out and been like, look, my last special, I really skirted around the issues, but like, I got canceled for a damn good reason, and I'm really working on me, dude, and it's fucked up that I did that to those people, and I'm truly sorry, and I know I'll never be able to make it up to anyone, but this is what I do, and I gotta keep doing it, and if you're here and you want to be here to watch me do it, I appreciate you. I almost made myself cry right there. That's a beautiful speech, but that's not what he's fucking doing. He's going like, oh yeah, I got busted because I fuck a lot, and like, oh, my wife was my ex-fiance. Apparently his wife left him, I don't fucking know. My ex-fiance was like, stop fucking chicks, man, or I'm gonna leave you. And I was like, I do fuck a lot. It's like, it's just so disingenuous, it truly bothers me, because there are dumb people like Andrew Zelter out there who were like, wow, Chris, wow, next time I do something terrible to a defenseless person, I'm just going to kind of do what you do. And I'm not saying as a public speaker you should be any kind of example to people, but if you want the respect of critical geeks, you got to be a little bit more forward-facing.
woke up the next day, cried. Woke up the next day, cried. Woke up the next day, cried. The 4th day,
cried why? Because you didn't have your phone? Cried why? Because you missed your kid? Doubt it. Cried why? Because we were sad for not fucking all the time? Like, maybe you cried, Chris, but explain to us why. Because all he said was they took my phone, and then I started crying, and I cried for days, and I cried next to a bed, and I kept on crying.
The nurse was like, you got a roommate. I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah. She's like,
it's a chick.
He gets in at 3 a.m. And I was like, what? Why so late? Is he coming after he fucks everyone? Like, I don't know. She was like, nah, it's just when his flight gets in. But you go to sleep, we'll process him, put him in a room, and then when you wake up, remember how hard it was for you here. You can, like, in active service, you can be there for him. I was like, yeah, okay, good. She's like, it's part of recovery. I'm like, okay. So I go to sleep in the twin bed, and I wake up the next morning at 6 a.m. You have to wake up at 6 a.m. in rehab. I'm not a morning person. I'm a comedian. I hate the mornings, too. When I wake up, sometimes even at home, my wife is like, hey, come on, at 10 a.m. She's like, we got kids. I'm like, you're the fucking mom, you know? Like, I don't... But I remember how sad I was at 6 a.m. and the dude's facing the other way, and I'm like, he's probably crying. Like, I gotta help him. So I muster up all the energy I can at 6 a.m. and I say to him, and this is how I say just like this. I say, hey, buddy, I just want you to know that you're in the right place, no judgment, and among here, you're loved. And the dude said like this. He hops out of bed and he says, hey, man, I'm just happy to be here. How's it going? And I was like, fuck this motherfucker, all right? I wanted to cry. And I'm like, the soccer jersey dude was lying to me, you know? He runs up, he's just like, hey, I'm Harold, how you doing? What are you in here for? And I was like, I fucked a lot. What are you in here for? And he said, this is what, he looked me right in my eyes, he said, I cannot stop masturbating. And I was like, this is what they wait to fucking give me? So I'm like, you're addicted to it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, did you do it like in front of people? Is that why you're here? And he was like, nope. I was like, so you just did it in private? He was like, yup. I said, and you were never caught? And he was like, nope. like, bro, masturbating is the only thing you can be addicted to, and kind of just like, don't tell anyone, you know? And you don't have to come here. He was just like,
That's just not true.
yeah, but it was messing up my whole life.
How many people? I don't know.
And I was like, Jesus, man. Did they take your phone? You
I
know?
grew up out in the sticks, and I knew a lot of really fun, like friends' parents who were like a lot of fun and always really talkative. And it's like, turns out they were meth heads. They were on meth. It's like very, very common that people have addictions they tell no one about.
No? And he would
Some of them can pull it off.
was like, no, I don't have a phone. And I was like, what? You don't have a phone? He's like, no, I'm Amish. And I was like, oh, great.
Oh, great. I'm in here with the Monopoly guy.
They left me with a fucking Amish guy who can't stop jerking off. This is amazing. But then I was like, man, if I was Amish, I would probably be addicted to jerking off too, because you don't have much stuff when you're Amish, you know? One day you're probably just in the field and you're like, ah, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, and then never stop. So, but he was so happy, it pissed me off. I ran out to the soccer jersey dude and I was like, hey man, you said we all cry. The new guy, he didn't cry at all. He was so happy. And the dude said, he will. It's like, all right. The next few days we got another new guy and he was even happier than Harold, which really pissed me off because I really thought the soccer jersey guy was lying. And the new guy, one day I was playing a puzzle with Harold, right? Doing a puzzle. And the new guy came by and while we were playing a puzzle and he says, hey guys, what's going on? And Harold was like, hey man, just doing a puzzle, you know? And then the guy was like, oh man, I wish I was here when you guys started, you know? And Harold's like, don't worry man, you'll get him next when we start. And then the guy walks away, he's like, all right, we'll see you later. And then Harold looks at me and he says, man, I fucking hate that guy. And that's when I was like, Harold's one of my motherfuckers. I love this dude, right? And sure enough, that night he cried. He broke down. He cried so hard. We were in our circle, our little meeting, and he broke down. He said, hey guys, I'm sorry I have to admit right now, but I masturbated last night. And everyone was like, oh, that's okay. And I was like, no, it's fucking not. It was next to me. That's why he was so happy when he woke up. I thought he was crying, but he was masturbating. Crying sounds a lot like masturbating if you think about it, you know?
Yeah, sure, I guess, Chris. That whole story was for crying sounds a lot like masturbating when you think about it.
Is it crying or masturbating?
It's not. It's a weird, creepy guy on a stage making sounds. It's some to a remarkably full theater. It's nothing. That's neither. That's just whatever. Can't believe we missed out on this fantastic actor's potential career. Instead, we got freaking Tig Notaro. Who looks like a boy, I might add. You know what? For the sake of the clip, we're going to go back and listen to this whole segment again.
Is it crying or masturbating?
Is it crying or masturbating? You think it's over, don't you?
Ooh.
He's done. Okay, that's the end for sure.
I need a Kleenex.
Again, what can I say that hasn't been said even before I started this? What can I say about Chris D'Elia that everyone doesn't already, any sensible, reasonable person doesn't already think? Let's suspend all disbelief. Let's pretend that the allegations never happened. This is what you like? This is what you're after? Right here.
I need a Kleenex.
Sure, there's no accounting for taste, even the lack thereof. Which is a slam, you just might not know it yet.
We all made it through that rehab. It was crazy, man. And now we're all brothers. You know, we connected, we check in with each other, and sometimes we have meetings, even though we're all around the world, not just the country.
Yeah, you've got. I bet you organize those yourself, don't you, Chris?
We'll check in on Zoom, and even
It's not court ordered.
Harold got himself a computer.
Kidding, I don't think the law ever stepped in.
Even though he's Amish, he got it just for the meetings, and he'll sign in, and every now
Which for some people, and I have such a hard time seeing from their perspective, but for some people that's literally enough to be like, well, the law never got involved, so the crime never happened. It's like, you didn't grow up where I grew up, bro.
and then, like every fourth time he
I used to play catch with a guy on meth.
signs in, he shows up, and he's like, oh man, I hate to tell you guys, I relapsed again. We're like, just don't tell us!
Base 44 super agents. The next thing you can't.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ugh, excuse me, would ya? The B-side special. Well, he's got links down here in case anyone's curious. Just in case. Just in case anyone wants to see him. Alright, anyway. It's me vamping for ads.
It's a weird thing to go through.
What the fuck just happened? That's a new guy. This is a new Chris. He's chewing his fucking thumbnail. And then it switches to an entirely new night, apparently. Which, if I'm not mistaken, this whole thing has been one long bit from one or maybe two nights. He's wearing the same, I'm looking at it now, he's wearing the same exact clothes, the same fucking chains. And then 10 minutes before the end, it cuts to this. It's because he didn't have a closer. But here we go. We're on the home stretch.
It's a weird thing to go
The last 10 minutes, God knows it's me, so this will take another half hour or so.
through all that stuff
But after that, we're doing a cool cover. If you like ska music, stick around. I'm gonna make it weird.
rehab and everything for like, it's just like, it's like a reset, you know? And
Nope. What are you talking about?
it's a weird thing to go through all that stuff, rehab and everything for like, it's just like, it's like a reset, you know? And
I'm sure you would like us to believe that, yeah, for sure.
now
Excuse me, would you?
it's just crazy because like I'm a dad and I got my parents and like
Okay, it's crazy because you're a dad and you have your parents, all right?
I'm a dad and I got my parents and like I have this outlook on life that's a little different than it was, you know, and I'm in that generation in the middle and I see my parents who are 76 and they're getting older and I know that they're not going to be around forever, you know, like I can tell they're aging. Every time I go over, it's like it's getting to the point where it's more and more. Like like things happen. Like my mom recently broke her hip. Okay, and she's fine, but it's like an old lady thing to do. You know, she broke her hip by falling. Like here's what happened. Like she was walking. You know how like she was doing that thing. Ladies have great walks. Okay, women walk amazing.
Oh, you gotta walk different, Mom. You can't do a callback to a set that's from a different night. I don't know.
Amazing. It's like part of their thing. They walk. I can't do it. I'm a guy, but they walk, and it's like, and guys
This is so broadcasted. We know what you're gonna do.
will be like, look at the way she's walking, you know. But it's great up until like one day when a woman is like a certain age and weight, where they're just like, I give up. And my mom walks like this. She's like. She waddles. She's like, fuck it, I'm a duck now. She doesn't care. She has her purse and she walks like that. She doesn't do the woman walk anymore. She's 76. She's earned it, okay? And So my mom was in the kitchen walking like that, you know, doing her walk, walking behind my dad. And my dad was at the garbage disposal. Now, my dad is always at the garbage disposal, right? He loves the garbage disposal. It's crazy. Ever since growing up, when we were kids, he would just be like, you done eating? You done with that? We'll put it down the garbage disposal. Don't throw it away. Put it down the garbage disposal. You gotta put it down the garbage disposal. You're not done? All right, cool. Hand me those napkins. We'll put those down instead then. Fuck it. Nobody's sitting in that wicker chair, are they? Fucking break it up. Put it down the garbage disposal. And he put all sorts of shit down the garbage disposal.
That's classic, like, family reunion joke stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, people who know your dad probably think that's so funny.
And the garbage...
Assuming it's true and not some bullshit you've contrived to set up whatever punchline you're about to do, which is, by the way, you telling your mom she needs to change the way she walks.
Disposal would break all the time, and every time the garbage disposal broke, no matter where we were in the house, we would hear my dad in the kitchen go like this, God damn it, okay? And then my brother and I would look and be like, oh, Dad broke the garbage disposal again, all right? So my mom's waddling behind my dad, right? And my dad's at the garbage disposal putting like balloons in it or whatever, you know? And my mom is walking, and my dad puts something in the garbage disposal, and it breaks a little bit, and then he goes, God damn it, and then backs into my mom, and my mom falls. Now, when a 76-year-old woman falls, it's way different than when you fall, all right? When you fall, you almost don't fall, right? You go to fall, every time it's like, fuck, I think I'm gonna fall. Hold up, maybe I won't. No, you know what, I am gonna fall, and you fall. When a 76-year-old lady falls, there's none of that. They just fall. Dude, when my dad backed into my mom, it was like she got shot in the head. My dad backed into her, and my mom felt like this. I give up. And she just went down, okay? So, my mom's down for the count, right? And my dad is also 76, all right? And he's aging faster than my mom. He's not as sharp as my mom is, okay? He's got that, like, that old man, that, like, he's got that, like, Biden energy, you know what I mean? Where, do you know what I mean? Where he's just, like, a little slower. Some people are like, Mr. President, and he's just like, hey, what's that now? You know what I mean? I don't know what that is. Like, he has to download the greeting or some shit. Hey, what's that now? Hello. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird old man shit. But that's what my dad does, you know? So he backed up into my mom fell, and my dad goes, hey, what's that now? You know, and he looks at her, he sees her on the ground, and he says, God damn it, and then, I swear for a split second I saw on his face, I wonder if I could fit her in the garbage disposal, and so my mom's...
This is such a long setup for a punchline that is, again, best case scenario, but still so foreseeable.
Down. And
predictable.
My dad is here.
Hack, you might say.
He doesn't know what to do, and he's in his old man energy and shit, and he just starts like...
He's doing impressions. What, by the way, Chris, why did you use this cut? This is the best you did? You didn't care that the audio is crackling? Is somebody smashing a Jolly Ranchers wrapper next to the microphone of your camera? What am I hearing, Chris? What is this?
Old man energy and shit, and he just starts like... He's not bending down to pick her up. He's like...
Someone chewing a Jolly Ranchers wrapper?
Just circling her, like, what? Your mom fell. Like,
you sound like the PUBG dance where it's the skeletons that just came out this last Halloween, where you, like, stop. You know?
It's the worst Indian dance, you know? Just fucking, hey, what's up? No. Hey, what's up? No. It started raining, and then fucking...
It's weird, okay.
I'm like, you know... My mom says, all right, stop. I'm fine. I'm on the ground. Just let me chill for a bit. Mm-hmm. You know?
Totally, Chris.
I'm going to hang out on the ground. I'll get up when I want. Just clean the dishes, you know? So he does. And I held my mom on the couch. We get her on the couch. And I leave. And then I find out later But my mom slept on the couch. She didn't go to bed. She didn't go up the stairs because she couldn't. So I was like, Jesus Christ, okay? So next day I go to my parents' house with my brother. And my dad beats us to the door. He opens the door on us and he says, hey, I think we gotta go to the emergency room. And I said, what happened now? And he said, no, it's because your mom fell yesterday. And I was like, that's not really an emergency anymore. When an emergency happens, you have to take the person to the fucking emergency room when the emergency happens. Otherwise, they could die, right? So we take them to the emergency room, we get to everyone in the car, we're driving to the emergency room, we get there, we're waiting.
I mean, I guess this is all part of the story, technically, or whatever, but...
Waiting area, right? We got my dad sitting down, my mom sitting...
But again, it feels very much to me like he's just trying to kind of, like, create space between him and the warm water he just left in the pool so no one sees it coming that he's about to say that he's telling his mom she needs to walk different.
Down with a blanket over...
Little trauma, remember?
...over her legs. For some reason, I don't even know where she got it. And... old ladies always have blankets over their fucking bottom half, you know? And so, and I'm pacing, and the nurse comes in and greets us, and he's got his clipboard, and he says, okay, so Mr. D'Elia? And my dad goes,
there's no way he said D'Elia right the first time. D'Elia?
You've got mail, you know what I mean? Just ready fucking... I'm like, nah, Dad, chill, I got it. I'm Mr. D'Elia from now on, just relax. And check your mail. And so...
Well, AOL reference, I didn't mind that.
So say to the nurse, I say, hey, buddy, so my mom has got a real big bruise on her side. I don't know what happened, but she fell yesterday. And I guess she needs some x-rays or something. She slept on the couch. She can't make it upstairs. And the nurse said to me, this is what he said. He said, oh, wait a minute. You the comedian? And I was like, yeah. I'll tell you what, if my mom doesn't die, I'll get you free tickets. You know what I mean? And he goes, right? He's like, let's get her on the gurney. We get her on a wheelchair. We go to the x-ray room. She does the x-rays. And the nurse said to me, this was the second thing the nurse said to me. And this is true. And I'm telling you it's true because if somebody told me that this happened, I just wouldn't believe them.
But you have got such a great track record for honesty and integrity.
But I know it happened because it's me, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
And I saw...
So we'll believe you, though.
And I heard the nurse. The nurse says, while she's getting x-rays, he says, you know, I had a patient in here recently. He was a black guy. And his wife brought him in, you know, old couple. Brought him in for something unrelated, but she said, there's something that's not on his charts. It's like a new allergy to chocolate. He's really allergic to chocolate. It's not going to say that on your charts. I just want you to know that because he's very allergic to it. And he forgets because he's not all there. You know, he's getting old. He'll forget he's allergic to chocolate. He loves chocolate. So just be...
Is this a story within a story? Chris is trying to tell us a long and convoluted story and is now in that story telling us about a character who's telling him about a long and convoluted story. That's too many layers, man.
Be on alert.
The time dilation is real. This is taking 5 ever.
So as the nurse, I'm like, well, shit. Okay, that's a big thing to tell me. I mean, we have chocolate here, to be honest. We have chocolate at the nurse's station, and there's vending machines right outside the guy's door. So
this is a guy telling Chris's story and a story that Chris is telling us that I'm critiquing for you. The internet's broken.
I'm like, what the hell do I do? So I took these white doctor surgical gloves, right? And I put them on the patient's hands. This way, if he ever started to eat some chocolate, I would see because the chocolate would rub off onto the white gloves.
And Chris is like, my mom is in the emergency room. This is a long fucking story. No, wait, that would require any kind of awareness, including self-awareness, but whatever.
Because if he wasn't wearing the gloves, the chocolate would be the same.
Chris doesn't practice self-awareness, but he will occasionally message it on Snapchat.
Color is his skin.
That is the boredest sounding I've ever heard. Listen to this guy.
Is same color as his skin. That's what the nurse said to me, okay? That's what the nurse said to me. So then I said, oh. And then the nurse said, that was just a joke. So.
And you thought this was an appropriate place to tell us about this guy, this long-winded story about this guy who told you a long-winded story that ended in a bad joke. And you don't see the irony. This is just lost out. Okay.
Use it or don't.
And he did.
I was like, all right, is my mom gonna die? What's going on? Sure enough, that's when the doctor came in with the x-rays, put the x-rays on that big bright light, you know, and he says, all right, Mrs. D'Elia, I have some bad news. You did break your hip and you're going to need surgery, but that's not a death sentence. You're going to be okay. We're going to get you into surgery tomorrow. It's a whole process. After that, you got to get into physical therapy. You're going to be doing that for a bunch of months. And then after that, we're going to maybe get you to move around on a walker. That'll start helping you get up and on your feet. And then after that, after a few months, we're going to give you a cane. And then after that, maybe after a few months, we could get you up and moving around again just like you used to, maybe. And all that said and done, it'll be at least 1.5 years. And I'm like, man, this is wild, you know, like I'm having this moment where really I am Mr. D'Elia now. You know, my parents, I got to take care of them. And I look at my mom and we have this like emotional moment where we're just staring at each other. And I say to her,
Mom, you gotta walk different.
Mom, who needs a different walk now?
Oh, God. What can I say that hasn't been said 1,000 times before, except I'm so stoked that that fucking Chris D'Elia special is over. Called me late last night, tell me that she loved me so. It didn't matter anymore. I said she never cared and that she never will. I'd do it all again, I guess I'll have to wait until then. And if I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. You won't bother me no more. It's okay, boy, 'cause you know we'll be good friends. And I say, I think I'll have myself a beer. She called me late last night and she told me that she loved me so. But I guess you changed her mind. Well, I should have known that it wouldn't be alright. Well, I can't live without her, so I won't even try. If I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. And you won't bother me no more. If I'm drinking, well, you know that you're my friend. And I say, I think I'll have myself a beer. I think I'll have myself maybe someday I'll think of what to say. And maybe next time I'll remember what you do. She looks like heaven. Well, maybe, baby, this is hell. Said she'd do it all again. She promised not to tell. If I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. And you won't bother me no more. It's okay, boy, 'cause you know we'll be good friends. And I say, I think I'll have myself a beer. I think I'll have myself a war. I said, you motherfuckers, this has been Critical Leaks. I had a great time, except for, the thing we reviewed. But, in the meantime, be nice.